Into the end zone.
Here.
Touchdown for the Patriots.
WBC FM and HD Boston 98.5. The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
The Bruins blew a 3-1 third period lead, but Brad Marchand saved the night with his franchise record 21st career overtime goal to hand his team a 4-3 win over Calgary at TD Garden. Jim Montgomery liked what he saw from his captain the entire night, too.
I thought he was desperate the entire game. I mean, he hit a couple of posts. I thought that he was on top of his game. I thought he was skating well. His ability to recover and just keep going, his second and third effort, it needs to become contagious on our team because he's a great leader.
David Pastrnak added a pair of assists in the win. The team is back at 500 for the season. They'll face old friend Linus Ullmark and the Ottawa Senators at the Garden tomorrow night. The Celtics had last night off. They're back at work this evening at the Garden against Brooklyn. Jaylen Brown is still out for the Green. Luke Cornett now doubtful with a tight hamstring. Grandy and Max had the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. The Patriots were without Kyle Duggar and linebacker Christian Ellis at practice for a second straight day yesterday. The team will practice again today, fly to Chicago tomorrow, and visit the Bears on Sunday. In other NFL news, Baltimore got 4 touchdown passes from Lamar Jackson. They beat Cincinnati 35-34 last night. Jacksonville starting quarterback Trevor Lawrence has a left shoulder injury that's expected to keep him out of the Jaguars game against Minnesota this Sunday. That means Mac Jones will start in his place. And according to the MLB Network, the Red Sox and Baltimore are among the teams interested in signing free agent outfielder and World Series champ Teoscar Hernandez. Sports Hub headlines are driven by the versatile Honda CR-V. Head to your local New England Honda dealers to learn more and see their lineup of Honda vehicles. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
The biggest names in Boston sports. Talk to Boston's Home for Sports.
Jason Tatum joins us outside the Celtics locker room.
Jim Montgomery, coach of your Boston Bruins.
Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla.
The games, the players, and your favorite shows. On air, online at 985thesportshub.com and on the Sports Hub app.
Afraid, hello. Hello. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
He's naked. He has a sword.
Oopity up with a football.
98.5.
Bruins are back from the West Coast.
Cocaine and hookers. Yes. Na.
Is it okay to use this for the radio?
Yeah. Welcome to the show, you sweet bitch.
Who took them? Where are they?
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Oh, Isaac. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It is the Isaac Show with Isaac.
Who took them?
And that is the sound of Tony Maserati as we've
Nick
now,
then texted and admitted that he took them.
and we know now who took the headphones. We'll discuss that at 8 o'clock. There was
Where are they?
Well, there's a man that has them. Not Isaac, though. Leave
Say
Isaac.
my name.
Isaac, no one's blaming
Hey there.
or anything. Hi, Isaac.
Hi, I'm Isaac.
Hi. So yesterday, by the way, we're Toucher and Hardy. You can watch us on YouTube. Go to 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. Search that. You can watch us live, and then they're up there stocked unless we say something, or more likely I say something that gets everyone in trouble, and then they will remove that from YouTube.
Scrubbed.
They'll scrub it. And but not, it hasn't happened in the last couple months.
You having trouble with your chair, by the way?
Yes, I am.
The height of my chair is like all off. I don't, like what?
I'm having the same problem. I've been doing it, but I'm being the professional I am. I've been able to keep it off the air.
Oh, see, that's where I messed up.
That's where you messed up. You don't bring that up. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 617-779-0985. You know, it's funny. We did a break yesterday, first of all, on Rolling Stone's article for the most disappointing albums. And it's a very Rolling Stone-esque article, so it's very difficult to name the albums. In fact, it was so difficult. John did the best out of everyone, even though Adam and Hardy have, years and years of music radio experience, and we were doing this thing where we were like songs you thought would be hits, or songs that you thought sucked and that became hits while you were in radio. And we played the brand new Immortals Reasons Why, and there was a hook, and Adam's like, I understand that there's a hook, but like I don't like this song, and I understand it's a really good hook, but I don't like this song. So Hardy and I got talking off the air. Isn't it funny that Adam was in programming, and he understands something is got a good hook, but he don't like it? Then what do you like?
I like some songs with hooks. I told
Yeah,
you
but
I
you should like every
too.
song with hooks.
No, but what I'm trying to get to, and this is actually making your point, is I think what makes someone a good programmer is being able to identify if a hook is good or not, what type of hook it is, and if it's going to work for the audience.
Right, but $1 million hook is $1 million hook.
Sure.
I mean, there like. Do you think Eye of the Tiger? Katy Perry is not a great musician.
No,
Katy Perry is not someone that you would.
Hold on for a second, Fred. Here comes the hook. Okay, continue.
Very good. I was listening to this morning on my phone in my pocket.
Yeah,
like their drummer used to put his penis in people's pockets. He did it to the singer Collective Soul. The singer Collective Soul was he was getting engaged. A marriage that did not. Maybe it did last long. Maybe this was after the big breakup. But he was announcing his engagement at this bar, and he turned around, and the drummer from that band had his penis in his pocket. He stuck it in his pocket while he was talking, and in front of a room full of people. And Ed Roland did not find that humorous.
Where is this band from? We didn't talk about that yesterday.
Atlanta.
They were in Atlanta.
David Ryan Harris is the singer, who's very talented, but he never broke. Johnny Colt was the Svengali of the band. He was the bassist for the Black Crowes, and Kenny was a drummer around Atlanta.
I did, after the show yesterday, take those segments, and I put them together over at 985thesportshub.com, and I put a little short list of the songs that me and you and Hardy had decided, we thought should have been big hits, but weren't, like that one from Brand New Immortals.
Did you include this one?
Cape Cod. Someone went to Pizza Shark. They emailed us. They went to Pizza Shark yesterday. They said no laughs. They were promised laughs. Because in the ad it says, like, come in for laughs and pizza. And then you're like,
humans can make is what keeps this shark in this here lake. So
yeah. No one made the point that sharks don't live in lakes. But I think that's part of the whimsy that is.
Well, that's why you're going to laugh.
Pizza Shark.
Sharks don't live in lakes.
They live. You know what's funny? That never played in my head yesterday. Not one time.
Oh, it played constantly. For
See,
me.
because I had reasons why in my head because of the hook. But we were talking about, isn't it strange that Adam can't identify a hook? It's almost like a deaf person or a blind person curating a visual arts museum.
Wait, I can't identify a hook, I don't think is fair.
Okay, you can't identify the basic logic of if there's a hook, the audience will gravitate toward it, therefore you should play it.
Right. No, I agree with that, but I don't have to say that I like it as well. Like,
Okay.
I can identify that Fastball's the Way has a big hook, although maybe that's not the best example because I never understood what the hook of that song is.
It's fair enough. I mean, I think there is like the road that they walk on is paved.
But there's also where were they going?
No, that's not great.
Ever knowing the way.
But that's not the hook. That's the bridge.
No, I think
No,
the
that's
bridge
the
is,
end of the chorus.
No, there's the road that they're walking in paved.
See, I think
that's the bridge.
That's
That's
know
not
what?
the chorus?
You just hit on it, Hardy. Like that, I believe, is the bridge of the song, and it's unconventional to have.
So the bridge
be a
is
hook.
the hook.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that's
well, listen, that
unconventional.
is very interesting. But so my point with Katy Perry is like no one likes Katy Perry. Like who cares?
Right.
But Eye of the Tiger, whatever the song's called.
Roar. Yeah.
And you're gonna.
Roar, yeah.
I mean, as much as like I don't seek it out. Like if it's playing in the back, and if it was on like in my car, I'd turn it off. Which maybe I wouldn't.
Yeah.
But if it's on, like it still like has that little worm that comes out, and you go, okay, like I get it.
Yes.
Like whoever wrote this wrote the hook, and I understand why this is being played on radio. In fact, that's why I always thought that the tattooed face kid that, like I predicted, became the Jewish kid with all the tattoos on his face.
Modest Yahoo.
No. Oh, come on. He kind of was a rapper.
Machine Gun Kelly.
No. Machine Gun Kelly's a Midwestern wasp.
Mike Tyson.
Oh, come on. Tattoos on his face.
Mike Tyson.
Tattoo.
We're talking about a musician here.
Yes.
With tattoos on. Post Malone.
Post Malone. He doesn't have any hooks. Like, his songs didn't have hooks. Like, and I never understood why he was popular. It seemed it was just willed. Like, the labels willed it. That was the kind of what's interesting about being in the music radio is that there would be songs that, because vapid, good hook pop songs are what are good on the radio. That's fine. Now, they don't last generations. They don't become golds that play forever.
Right.
But, that's a good song to have, for a month in the rotation. I would guess if I'm hearing the radio, that's what I want. And, but it's interesting that some songs that are just mundane and plod would be played based entirely on the will of corporate people. Interesting.
It
like
is
Edema.
And that was the guy was the cousin of Jonathan from Korn, so
Jonathan
that's how they got the record deal. You know what? Real quick, you saying that, Fred, has got me thinking that, because remember I brought to the table yesterday a 90s song from a band called Failures called Stuck on You, and we were joking about how like it takes them like a minute and a half to get to the hook. I think part of it too, like, and you witnessed this throughout your radio career, Fred, because your radio career in rock radio started in the mid to late 90s, is that correct?
Rock radio started in the early 2000s.
In the early 2000s. Okay, so I think the shift had already happened then, because if you look at kind of the quote-unquote hits from alternative rock from the early to mid-90s, the song structures were much like that, where the hook was later on. And then as things evolved, it's like, no, people's attention spans are getting shorter. Let's get to the hook earlier. So you have that era of alternative rock in the late 90s, early 2000s, where it was more of like a get-to-the-point, more poppy, more hooky sound.
Oh, I disagree completely. When I got into rock radio, it was Creed, Metallica, and then it became Korn and Limp Bizkit. And Korn only had one great hook.
Yeah, Got
which
the
was
Life.
Got. Thank you. Yeah, Got the Life's got a great hook.
Yeah.
And so, like, again, I don't like Korn, but Got the Life is a good song.
I wasn't thinking. That's funny because I wasn't thinking of those when I was thinking of alternative rock. I wasn't thinking of those acts, but those are all big acts. I was thinking of more of like the.
We played
OPM and Wheatus and that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, I mean,
like,
those.
But those existed at the same time.
Yeah,
so,
but like, okay, so I will give you Fuel was a band like that. But Hemorrhage in My Hands doesn't have a hook.
Sure it does.
Leave life bleeding in my hands, in my hands again.
Yeah, but that's not a earwormy pop hook. It's just in my hands again.
But then it goes. It has that little half step, and then it wants to resolve, and that's very satisfying when it resolves.
But we can understand the difference between "and they're on his road that they walk on his paved with
that's
gold."
very
and
major.
Then, in my hands,
yes,
in my hands again.
It's got a little minor in it. Yep.
So I used to have to do the new music promos, and that was always like a struggle, like finding the hook sometimes. But I can tell you right now, if I had to do a new music promo for both Fastball the Way and Fuel's Hemorrhage would be the easier hook to pull.
Agreed.
I'm not saying it's better or more memorable, but it's no, that's it.
But Fred, you're getting back to what?
Maybe I'm a genius then.
No,
Go
you're
ahead.
getting back to what I was saying earlier.
There's
that kind of almost tiers or differences in types and styles of hooks, which, if we want to bring back to an entire other conversation we've had, Fred, you're not giving yourself enough credit for the musical knowledge that you have, because we've talked about that before as well.
Swing from his nuts some more. Can we do something else? Jesus, Jones.
Only drummers can tell if there's a good drummer or not. Like, these are all tied together.
Well done, Adam.
Shut up.
Well done, Adam. I like that. But Adam, in another great programming thought yesterday, he was hosting some charity event. I went on Instagram, and he was hosting a charity event, and I texted him. I said, why don't, you have, who's turning your mic off? Plug your charity events.
And I meant to do that. Yeah, I truly did mean to do that yesterday. But as John pointed out after the show yesterday, the show went by fast. Like we had a fast show yesterday.
Everyone was very excited about the show yesterday. I didn't know why.
It was a fun. I thought we had a fun show yesterday. But yes, I did. I was asked to MC Tech Tackles Cancer. Last night we had a great event, 10th annual Tech Tackles Cancer. They're involved in pediatric cancer research, which if you're aware of that world, pediatric cancer is much different than when adults have cancer. So there's different research that's done. So they raise money for St. Baldrick's, which funds that research. They raise money for One Mission, which helps out kids and families that are going through treatment. And over the last 10 years, Tech Tackles Cancer has raised, I believe, it'll be more now, but as of last night, it was $7 million.
All because of Adam.
Boston's tech community.
I have a question.
Yes.
What does Adam 12 wear when he is hosting or
Very
emceeing
good question
an event
there,
of that
yes.
caliber?
Well, it's a black collar.
I had this nice
collar.
sweater that I'm wearing today because I was too lazy to get anything new. I have this nice sweater that I wore, Hardy. It is a red sweater.
That's
on the inside
Are you
has a nice little
colorblind in
plaid.
seriousness? Are you colorblind?
No.
That is a maroon on the outside, plaid on the inside. It's a zip-up cardigan type thing.
Cardigan type sweater over a black button-down shirt, black slacks.
Do you own a sport coat?
I do, but I would never wear it.
Did you wear the green shirt with the?
No. I didn't wear this shirt. I put a clean shirt.
No,
on
but
this
today
morning.
you did.
Yeah, today I did. Yeah,
Okay,
I just don't care.
Okay, because you really don't care.
No, I did the whole. I stole the extra half hour of sleep this morning, so it was roll out of bed, put on what you were.
Well,
wearing
that's
the
what
night
I do,
before.
but I mean, there's a monochromatic. You could go
Sure.
monochromatic.
You're also on camera much more than I am. So.
Oh yeah,
That's the separator. Right there.
that's a lot of. I mean, I think about that actively. I think.
I'm right there with you, Fred. That's the first thing I think.
I mean,
of.
I wear the same thing every day. I wear a sweatshirt and Lululemon sweatpants. I mean, it's the same thing. I have a drawer with Lululemon sweatpants, and then a closet with sweatshirts.
I'm glad you brought that up because among the things I have to do this weekend that I plan on doing, I have made the decision. I am going to wear something other than jeans.
Whoa!
Ooh.
Why?
Because when I was in North Carolina last weekend, I noticed a fair number of older, very nice-looking North Carolina gentlemen, and they're all walking around wearing jeans. And I said, am I starting to look like that?
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. Jeans. That's what I'm talking about. When your kids played sports, did you wear jeans to their games in the gym?
No.
Okay.
No.
Because that
Or
always bugged me.
to the field or anything else.
Yeah,
I'd wear warm-ups or sweats.
When
or
dudes
something.
coached in jeans,
But
I did not care for that.
Yeah, it's
I've
not a
been
good
wearing jeans to work or sometimes I'll wear, golf pants if I'm going straight to the golf course.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just.
But that's
necessity.
that. But and a couple of those I would wear. Like they look good enough to wear around, and they don't look like dorky golf pants. But I had a conversation with my wife and daughter, and I said, I would like to buy some trousers, and they were like, okay. I sat them down. I said, what should I buy? And they were both a little concerned, but also a little excited because I think they too knew that it was long past the time for me to stop wearing jeans every day.
You can call Lenny Clark back. He's got a slacks
I
guy
don't
for
know.
you.
No, apparently I have to go buy and go to a store, which I have been told I have walked past maybe hundreds of times in my life, called Viore.
Yes, I've seen that. Yes.
Okay, I have not seen it, even though apparently it's next to the Travis Matthews store
Yes.
at Legacy Place.
Yeah.
I'm told I have to go
Native
there.
Collections has one, yes.
And I'm told I have to buy something that are either joggers or they also have, the classic pantaloons that are just, pants.
Could someone define what a pantaloon is? I don't know what that is.
I couldn't describe
Pretty
to my.
short.
I couldn't.
Oh, is that what that? All right.
No,
is that a pantaloon like just past the knee, like capri pant type thing?
Those are old school. They called them +4s. If you go back and read The Greatest Game Ever Played or The Legend of Bagger Vance, but
Which
I
we
said,
do from periodic biannually.
yeah, it's like I read To Kill a Mockingbird once a year, just like I read those books. But I said, no, I need pants that aren't necessarily sweats, but maybe I could buy some sweats also. So there's a big thing happening to some. I'm going to be.
change.
I'm going
Best
to.
of luck.
I'm going to purchase some bottoms. I don't know what they are exactly, but I'm going to do it.
All right. Bert's already saying he's going to be late.
No, no, he's not.
Yes, he is.
Look at your phone.
You want a thing? You want a piece of information? I don't own a pair of jeans.
Wow.
You don't own jeans at all.
No.
Yeah.
No, the farmers market is taking that out of the rotation. There's no first. It all started when my son played basketball. His first team he ever played for was at the Y. And when he was a little kid, he played basketball, and a kid showed up in jeans, a sweater, and a button-down shirt under the sweater to the basketball practice. And I said, "Something's going on to tell me this." And then as I moved on, the old people older than me, with jeans and tote bags, walking in the middle of the road, defiantly leaving the farmer's market because it's farmer's market day, damn it. They're farmer's market people, jean people.
Yeah.
90-degree day, they're sitting there in jeans, miserable.
Sticking with my jeans. Nothing
Okay.
comes between me and my Calvins, Hardy.
But I'm not taking the jeans out of the rotation because when I'm wearing a sweatshirt like the one I'm wearing today.
Boston Public Works street lighting. Yeah.
Breathtaking.
Showed up at the house yesterday.
With
Look at the back.
was that a hand-to-hand handoff or was that mailed?
That's my buddy Mike Donaghy. He's pretty much in charge of the streetlights in Boston. You're welcome.
That's got to be payola. That's payola right there.
Someone get HR on the phone. John?
Well, it's not HR. It's a matter for the U.S. government at this point.
Man.
Exactly. Not only did I receive something from it, but I am helping them sell so many more streetlights.
That's right. That's right. It's a big thing.
You never know.
All
when you
right,
might need
listen.
one.
But with this, I got to wear jeans. I can't wear. You know,
you could wear Dickies.
No.
Oh yeah.
Well, work pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
But that's really trying too hard. Come on.
I mean, is it?
Why not just
they are
follow
work
through?
pants.
It's what you want anyway.
They're not cool
right?
anymore. Like Dickies aren't what
Yeah.
people are wearing anymore. If you wore Dickies, it's not like you would be like looking like you were trying to be cool.
Hardy, we wouldn't blame you. I mean, this is what you've always wanted. Get the work pants.
Do they make slim fit Dickies?
Well, I think slim fits are going out of style if you look at what the young ladies are buying. All right, we will be back. Everything in sports that I wanted to happen yesterday happened. How about that? It was a magical night. I watched 3 things, and not out to the end, but everything I wanted to happen happened. It was one of those nights.
Everything's coming up, Freddie.
That's right. It was magical as I sat by myself. All right, we'll be back in just a moment.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy.
Did you catch the game last night?
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Hardy, what's going on?
Bruins last night as we had some line shuffling once again before the game, before they took on the Calgary Flames. Pavel Zacha back to the middle, centering the line between David Pastrnak and Tyler Johnson for last night.
Guy who wasn't on the team a week ago.
Right.
He's your top left wing. Yep.
Justin Brazeau moving up to the top line alongside Elias Lindholm and Brad Marchand. So how did things go? Well, things went pretty well early for the Bruins as they jumped out to a lead.
Zacha finds Pastrnak cutting to the Calgary line down the right wing circle. Pivots along the near hash marks. Now sends one across. Stepping in. Scores! Beautiful feed across to Hampus Lindholm, and the Bruins have a 1-0 lead.
Nice to see him jumping out early. I haven't decided that this team is a team that can't play from behind yet, but feels so much better when they score first.
How long did that good feeling last, Hardy?
Well, it lasted a little while. I mean, what do you want, John? They went up 3-1 in this game.
Yeah, they scored 2 goals.
Here's a centering pass from Quill. Score! Kepke able to redirect that in from the front of the crease, and the Bruins now lead by 2.
I was referencing the goal that Calgary scored 19 seconds after their first one.
They got an equalizer, but then the Bruins, within under a minute, right? They scored 2 goals in under a minute.
Yes, they did.
And they're up 3-2, and Korpisalo was playing well, and you thought, and then everything, you just protect that 2-goal lead, baby. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, well, all you got to do is not take a penalty in the first minute of the third period, Brad Marchand, and allow a power play goal, and then allow another equalizer at the 9:55 mark. So we went to overtime last night, tied at 3. But one of my favorite things in all of sports, one of my favorite changes in all of sports, was the move to the 3-on-3 overtime in the NHL.
It's fantastic. If
really
only
is.
it would end with that. Like I just wish it would end with that. The 3-on-3 is great. The shootout is terrible.
Yeah, the shootout, I don't mind it because it's
Here's why I mind it, because I know exactly what I want to say.
Okay, well, I know what I want to say too.
Go ahead.
Just very briefly. I don't mind it because it is still a decent representation of the sport. It is a player moving toward the goalie, and there are times in an actual game you will see that same thing on a breakaway. It is nothing like penalty kicks in soccer, which have nothing to do with the game of soccer.
I just think it's a specialty that isn't indicative of your skill as a hockey player. Because just look at the rotation that they use for the shootout. It's never the best player first. The best player on the team is always going like 6th.
It's a specialized skill.
Yeah, it's a specialized skill.
You see all kinds of wild stuff. I mean, I remember there's this guy for the Bruins who is no longer in the league. His name is Kaspers Dogovitz. He put his stick on top of the puck, upside down, 180, holding the puck. I mean, you can go look it up on YouTube. It's the weirdest thing ever. That kind of stuff happens in a shootout.
It can be the difference between playoff position. Is that those extra points? You get a handful of those, 6-7 of those. Like you lose 6-7 shootouts. That's 6-7 points that put you out of a playoff spot. I don't like that. What was wrong with a tie? I don't understand that. The tie is fine. So you get the point. Everyone gets a point, and then you go home. It's almost childish that people can't live with that. There has to be a definitive
That was
winner.
the feeling at the time.
Well,
when they changed the rule, that was the feeling at the time. Why do we have ties? There should be a winner and a loser.
Well,
not this 1 point for both teams.
Play 3-on-3 until someone scores. Someone's going to die on the ice, but play 3-on-3 until someone scores. I can't think of anything harder cardiovascular-wise in sport than playing a long shift in 3-on-3.
It's the thing, because they shorten the benches too in the 3-on-3.
Yeah, and you have to, and there's such wild changes in ice position.
Oh my God, it's fantastic. And again, it's not a perfect representation. The NBA probably has the best version of overtime. 5 minutes, it's just the same game. There's no who scores first, blah blah blah. But good, that makes sense. But if you want to end the thing and you want to have a result that is not a tie, Fred, 3-on-3 overtime is fantastic, especially when something like this happens.
They drop it. This one won by Backlund. Anderson will go behind the net here for the Flames. Elias Lindholm bumps him off the puck. In front for Marchand. Point blank. Score on the rebound. Wolf made the initial save. Marchand, following his own shot, wins it for the Bruins 4-3.
Great call from Ryan Johnson.
Yeah, Lindholm, that was a big game for him. That was a huge play by him. Marchand just had to clean it up. He stayed with it, but Lindholm made 2 good plays on that. And did you see the reaction of the team after the game? Yeah. I mean, hopefully, they were very, very excited. For a regular season game, that seemed like quite a celebratory moment.
Marchand played really well last night and didn't get rewarded with anything. He had 2 posts at the inside of one post. Hit 2 posts in the game. It was just that he scored the game winner. But
he needed to right things a little bit for taking that penalty at the beginning of the third period, allowing that power play goal. That I felt like something had to be set right there, and he did it by being in position, Fred. But that was at the 4:40 mark of overtime. How much of that overtime was Marchand on the ice?
A lot. A lot. And I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but when the Bruins lost that 3-1 lead in the third period, that third goal to game tire is like, all right, this is the way the season's going to go. Charlie Coyle comes in over the line, and McAvoy sees that and skates in with him to kind of join the rush, and then Coyle falls down, and it winds up being a 2-on-1 the other way, and Calgary ties it. That's just bad luck. So I'm thinking, oh, God, this is the way it's going to go. I mean, they had played pretty well up until
they
then.
stopped shooting the puck.
Yeah.
They just, legit stopped shooting the puck for, a time in that third period. Here's the deal, is that I don't think they're playing worse than last season necessarily. From what I see. There's stretches, it seems like in the Toronto game and the Calgary game, they had a lot, like you said, Marchand hit 2 posts, the inside of a post. In the Toronto game, that goaltender was standing on his head. It seems to me like they have stretches. It doesn't seem like they're – I don't watch them and go, wow, they look a lot worse than last year. But what do I know?
I don't know. I've seen them get thoroughly dominated 5-on-5 by better teams.
Yes.
Like Carolina, for example.
They
couldn't even set up in the offensive zone against Carolina.
Carolina and Florida dominated them, yes.
But that's the thing.
But I'm talking about the totality of a season.
Fair enough, but you see games like that, and then you add bad luck into it, like what I was talking about. That routinely happens to the Bruins a couple of times a week.
But again, the goal, though, is that you make the playoffs, and then – because I don't care – as long as they make the playoffs, which they will, I don't care about the regular season at all. As long as they're building at the end of the season – because I would take these early season losses if it means the team's developing and you can take these. In fact, I find the team more interesting this year than I did last year, as a matter of fact. Go ahead.
I wanted to talk about Korpisalo, who has been pretty damn good for long stretches
he
for this team when he played.
Night.
Right. So I bring that up to tell you this. You know who's coming to town tomorrow night. It's Linus Ullmark's coming to town tomorrow night. Linus Ullmark, as we all know, was fantastic for long stretches of time for this team. You look at his numbers for a team like Ottawa, they're not good. He's 2-4. He's got a goals against of over 3 and a save percentage of under 900. He got shelled in his last start. So I think there is a lot to be said about goaltenders' numbers and the team in front of them. Korpisalo's numbers were horrendous last year. He was the worst starting goaltender in the league last year, numbers-wise, and he gets here with more talent around him, and his numbers are much better. You see him play well. You take a guy like Ullmark, who is unbelievably good for this team for a couple of years, and you see what you throw him on a team like Ottawa, and his numbers are horrible, relatively speaking. So those people who say, yeah, you know what, Korpisalo is a horrible goaltender, it doesn't matter the team. Yes, it does. Take a look at Linus Ullmark and his season so far, and you'll see that the team around you does matter.
Montgomery was pretty happy with him.
Yeah, I thought he was good, especially in the second. I thought he made a lot of key saves when we extended our lead to 3-1.
Yes. And also gave a lot of credit to Marchand for his leadership, but that Lindholm play behind the net in overtime.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we always talk about, especially when we get to 3-on-3, but into our puck pressure really determines getting opportunities to score, and that was a great example of it. I thought his checking skill is stick, and then escaping and then getting it to Marshy right away. Big time play.
All right, there's bigger news on the horizon, and that is as simple as this. John, go ahead.
I have a pair of pants for Hardy, knowing that he's a working man. Carhartt makes a rugged, slim flex canvas pant, but it's not the duck. It's closer to a twill, and it's not a jean, but it reads like a khaki, perhaps.
You get that? It's not a duck; it's a quill.
Yeah, hold on a second.
What did you say?
Quill, I'm sorry.
It's John. No, what does that mean? It's not a duck. It's a what? These are so workmanlike. I can't follow you. Please, I'm growing hair on my chest.
Totally understandable.
Yes,
it's strong masculine energy. The duck is the Carhartt like that you're used to seeing. That's like that brown kind of really thick canvas. That's like a very unforgiving fabric. They make another one that is their rugged flex twill, which is just a different blend, and it's a little softer. It's supple.
Okay, so this, because I would imagine like the burly pant is so like a nail doesn't go through it and cut you. But if you're not going to be working with jagged metal, if you just want the look, but you want something that's more forgiving.
This gives you the flexibility.
Yeah,
you get range of motion with these.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. You put it well. I understand what you're saying. Thank you, John.
John, is it the rugged flex?
Rugged flex.
I'm looking at them right
and
now.
They also come in. Yeah. They come in slim fit.
Oh boy! All right, thanks, buddy. Thank you.
Are we still doing a slim fit though, or are we off of that? You know.
We don't know, Fred. We don't know until we try them on and look at them. But these are good.
No, you'll
pants.
try them on.
I will try them on. Well, there's a Carhartt store there at. You know what I could do? I could end up going to 2 different stores and buying 2 different pair of pants in one day, which I've never done in my life.
I was just saying, as a guy, that never happens.
No,
ever.
No. And by the way, I looked. I went online and looked at the Viore prices, and I looked at my wife and daughter, and I said, "Are you both out of your minds? Have you ever known your father to spend over $80 on any garment?" And they said, "You might have to this time." And then my wife made some mention of a coupon. Now, she may have been lying just to get me off. The whole, like, these are too much money, but we'll see if there's a coupon involved.
Okay.
Do they accept coupons at stores like that?
All right. I don't believe that you cut coupons.
No.
That I don't believe. That now you're going too far. Matt, go ahead.
Hey, Hardy, I got some pants for you. I was going to warn you about the price of Viora. It's outrageous.
Yeah.
Lululemon, the same thing.
Right.
Go to Legacy. Go to State and Liberty. Great people in there. They're gonna fit you up with comfortable, stretchy pants. I'm wearing them right now on my way to work. Go check it out. That's all I got to say.
All right. That doesn't seem to light your fuse like the last call.
State and Liberty.
Yeah, that seems like
Carhartt
Oh, my
carries
God.
more weight. You know, Carhartt's the working man's.
I mean, that guy's going to, downtown, the financial district. I'm on the State and Liberty website right now. A bunch of dandies. Oh,
yeah.
look at
if you're going to
these.
cosplay as a blue collar worker,
no, you don't go to State and Liberty.
No.
Look at these, these fit, masculine, urban professionals. That's not. They're a little too fancy.
Yeah, I mean, he's
I'll check it
pretending
out.
to be a blue collar worker, not pretending to be in finance.
Thank you. That's
what's going on. Just wear sweats.
Put the perfect
sweats in a sweatshirt.
The perfect
You're
little
a radio
bow on
scum.
it. You put the perfect little bow on it.
Yeah,
that's it.
You're radio scum. Dress like it. You get up at an ungodly hour and we have no social lives. So
I might
dress like it.
I might detour through West Roxbury on the way home today and just park my truck next to a street light and throw the hazards on and get out and just look up at that thing with my Boston street lights hoodie on.
And maybe and maybe you'll get whistled at. Yeah. All right, very good. We'll be back. So much more happened in the world of sport yesterday. We'll be right back.
Sports Up.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy. Brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. This is the Bruins won last night. Michigan State strangely beat Niagara. But Michigan State, I was very excited to see all the corn-fed 7-foot white kids they have. Big, heavy white kids. Izzo's like, I'm not paying anyone. It's like, I'm taking these big kids and just saying, get out there and maul people. But
did I tell you about seeing Izzo down at the shootout in Atlantis over Thanksgiving a couple of years ago?
No.
So he's standing there in the casino and he's talking to somebody, and I see him. Marcy and I are walking through. I'm like, oh my God, that's Tom Izzo. She goes, go say something. I never do. I can't stand it. She's like, you should go say something, Robert. Just go. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
all right. So I wait for him to get done talking to somebody, and he sees me kind of like loitering at the edge. It's already uncomfortable. I said, Mr. Izzo, I just wanted to say that the whole thing is cringe. I understand that. I said, my name is Rob Poole, Michigan State class of '93. I just wanted to say, obviously big fan of the program. I really appreciate everything you've done. You've made this really enjoyable to watch for many, many years. Thank you very much. Shook hands, and he said something like nice, like, what are you doing? I'm like, we're just down on vacation, but it just happened to, be, it's great, and we saw you here, and blah, blah, blah. And then I start talking.
Oh boy.
And I started talking about Judd Heathcote. Now I was there, and, the time watching Steve Smith, and, I had the tickets in the Spartan Spirit section, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just going on a little too long, and he's kind of nodding. And he did something that was so brilliant. God bless this man. And he says, that's great. And he goes, well, let's get a picture. I didn't ask him.
Smart.
He said, let's get a picture as a way to, our relationship is about to end now by me doing this.
Yeah.
And I took out my phone and handed it to Marcy. She took a picture of us, and he said, it's great to meet you, blah, 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 and he left.
Brilliant.
Other than
really?
saying, why don't you shut up? Just shut your mouth. I'm a human being, and I don't know you. Stop this. I don't care. Right. Yes, Judd Heathcote coached at Michigan State. I understand. Time goes by and that you were a student long ago.
But you can also understand this, Fred. That I'm not going to be starstruck, nor are you or John or Adam 12 maybe if he met the guy from Guided by Voices.
Robert Pollard.
Yeah, but a handful of people. Tom Izzo's one of them.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
Especially if you've seen someone on TV a million times and then you see him in person. It's weird.
Yeah, and I farleyed out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no, that's understandable.
Remember that one time he won the national championship?
It was awesome.
That's awesome.
Well, that's when I met it's going to mean nothing to anyone else, but when I met Milo Ackerman from the Descendants for the first time, Tim from the Dropkick Murphys got me backstage at Riot Fest. I wanted to get it over with. I'm like, I went pictures. He's like, hey, man, what's up? Because we had been emailing. And he's like, hey, man, what's up? He was in a trailer by himself. And he's like, come hang out. And I'm like, oh, hey, let's take pictures. And then we took pictures. And I'm like, it was nice meeting you. Like, I didn't want to piss him. And he was like, okay. Like, He's like, all right, see you later. Yeah. Like, I didn't want to do that. That I did the exact opposite. It was offensive in another way. Because I was just like, oh my God. And I just like, I take the picture. And I'm like, hey, wait, we have a good relationship. This is nice. I haven't bothered you. And like gone. And he was waiting in a trailer to hang out. Like he wanted to hang out. Like what does he know? How many people do that to him? Like, right? Like,
well, I'm going to leave now, but thinking that we could still be friends someday, right? Right.
Exactly. And like, it was all. Now. Like a guy from the Dropkick Murphys was like, hey, this is my friend. Like he's a big fan. He named his kid after you. He's got a tattoo. And the guy's like, oh, sweet. And then we start emailing, and he's like, oh, yeah, like I'll check out your show. So it's like as comfortable a meeting as should have been happening. Like it was arranged. He was waiting in a trailer alone to meet me. And I went in with a friend and was like, blah, 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 and then left. But then he came into the studio, and I got to hang out with him a little bit.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I lean toward Fred's way of doing things. I ran into the basketball coach, Jay Wright, at a wedding over the summer. And his wife knew the mother of the bride, and the mother of the bride was somehow related to my wife. So we were there at a country club. And I ran into him, and I started talking, and I had that moment of oh my God, am I saying too much? I need to stop talking. And I didn't cut it off, but I kind of trailed off quickly, and I quickly shook his hand. I said, congratulations on all your success. I hope you do well on TV. And I was gone. And it was uncomfortable. There was that one moment of uncomfortability. And, of course, you walk away from that conversation thinking, you're such an F-up. What's wrong with you?
People come up to me and talk and go like, hey, can I take a picture? And I go, yeah. And I think that I screwed that thing up. Like when people come up to me, I think I screwed it up all the time.
Yeah.
I've talked to like people who've come up to me and they've gone, all right, then, like, see you later. Like, because I don't know. Like, I'm like,
Is that Joe Murray? I got to let you go.
I like it. Like, I think it's great. I like when people come up to me, it's very, because it doesn't happen all the time. But like, I'll go to the Celtics game tonight. Probably 3 people will come up to me. And I love it. It's great. I enjoy it. People only one time in my entire time in Boston since 2006 has anyone been a dick to me, and we were both drunk, so I'll let it be. Maybe twice, but everyone's always very nice. And
you talked to him for so long, it gets to the.
All right, man. I gotta let you go.
That's
yeah,
right.
it's the Joe of face-to-face encounters.
Yep.
All right, this is more important. Jason, go ahead.
So, Hardy, the most valuable pants that you can own, and you have to hear me at the end, are these $100 pair of pants from REI. It's from a brand called Cool. Now, I know it's expensive off the rip, but they have a lifetime warranty. And not only that, I work in finance. They're a hiking pant, but they don't have any of the weird like holes or anything, so you can wear them on a daily basis. But on the sides, they're stretchy, and they have a good ventilation flow for like your grundle.
Oh, wait a second. All right,
knees.
I just looked it up. KUHL. I have a shirt that I have had for probably 15 years from that
The
manufacturer.
pants are way better. The material is great. You can they look like they're a skinny jean, but you can Spider-Man, you can parkour with them. Or you can just go to like a wedding. I go to work in them. I work in finance. I wear a tie every day. So I highly recommend them. Lifetime warranty. It's the only pair of pants you need because if you rip them, you just go back and get one.
That's perfect. Thank you.
All right. Well, listen.
Cool.
I thought it was the menthol cigarette company. I thought you could wear cool pants.
Mr. Escalante, it's too hot in here. Think cool.
Hey, cool. Finger man.
Here we go.
Hey, finger man. 2 times 9, 1, 2. 18.
Damn you.
All right.
Snap your neck.
Yeah, snap your neck. She's a pastor. Hey.
¿Qué pasó?
There's another movie where I get taken advantage of. Hey, a lot's going on in this movie that I can't figure out.
We're going to have to stay late. You're not getting it.
You're a finger man. Right.
Go to the back of the line.
Yeah. All right. I gotta watch it. I gotta make my daughter watch that movie. We watched Man in the Moon yesterday.
How'd that go?
Man in the Moon. Tell me if you think this is odd. It's Reese Witherspoon's film debut. It's a 1991 film.
Every time I see it on, I think it's the Andy Kaufman.
Yeah,
Andy Kaufman thing.
That's what I thought.
Oh, Man on the Moon. Yeah.
The Jim Carrey Andy Kaufman.
Yeah. This is Man in the Moon.
Oh, okay.
And they show her because she goes into this like swimming hole a couple times, and they show her naked butt, and she's my age, so in 91 she was 15, 16. Interesting, huh?
Yeah.
And Jeremy London's in it, and he gets naked at one point, but it's not full frontal.
Well, what's the point?
Well, no, but the thing is that
I'm not watching it.
Is that it doesn't 15 seem odd to like have someone a butt?
Yes.
It seemed very young. Anyway, maybe it was a stunt double. We'll have to investigate.
Stunt butt?
Yep. Bert Breer just got into traffic. We told him to turn around and go home so he could actually do the show on time.
Yeah. Well, I'd rather have Bert for the full time.
Yeah. And so maybe he should just do it from home from now on.
I mean, he's working late on Thursday nights doing the Thursday night game.
Yeah.
I mean, we're asking an awful lot of him. We are.
Yeah.
To stay up late and then to come in. All right. So we'll be back with Bert.
Okay.
In just a moment. It's on me. I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
There's no reason.
Okay.
All right, we are Toucher and Hardy. That's why I said I didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
We're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. It's live, and there's a chat and everything else. And you can also watch it whenever you want. Ad nauseum. Bert Breer is a traffic reporter and senior NFL reporter and lead content strategist for the MMQB. Getting down to business with Bert Breer is presented by Bentley University, where good business begins and leaders come to learn. Bert's fresh off of the Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football broadcast.
Great game last night. Great game.
Yeah, great game. Hi, Bert.
Hey, that lead-in was interesting there, Fred.
Listen, I got nothing to do with it. All right, so listen. Last night we saw Baltimore. Who's the best team in the AFC? And what Baltimore's defense not so great. Who are the best teams in the AFC, and where are their weaknesses?
I think all of them are flawed. I'd start there. I have a hard time going away from Kansas City just because I think they are the Patriots. And if you look at the evidence and what they become, how they pull these games out in the end, I mean, just the feeling, and I'm sure you guys felt this way too, right? Like when they win that coin toss, the game's over. Like that's the way we all felt. And that's the way you felt for 20 years when Brady was here. The way that they're able to just consistently replace people, adjust what they're doing. Their plan offensively was much different than what it is now. Like coming into the year, it was Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy running over the top, and Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce running underneath them. Half of that equation's gone. Rice is out for the year. Hollywood's almost certainly out for the year. And they keep winning. And I think they're going to keep getting better. They're going to incorporate DeAndre Hopkins. They're going to get more out of Travis Kelce deeper into the years. He's got to kind of summon that, and they need and they ask a little bit more of him. I think the offensive line will settle itself. It's just I have a hard time going away from Kansas City. Now, I think Buffalo's really good. I think Buffalo's pretty balanced. I think they've had a lot of young guys step up and replace some of the old guys that are out the door. We've been through those names: Micah Hyde, Jordan Poyer, Tre'Davious White, Stephon Diggs, Mitch Morris, guys that were important to them. And I think the Ravens' ceiling is high. It's just the defense has not been good the last few weeks. And, I wanted to give their new defensive coordinator, Zach Orr, a pass early on because he is younger and because Mike McDonald had his issues in Baltimore early on too. But, as we get deeper into the season, you start to wonder, are they going to be able to take care of those?
All right, so you got Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston, and Kansas City. They're all going to make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. But then you have a big mishmash of teams looking for the last two wild card spots. You have the Jets at 3-6, the Cincinnati Bengals at 4-6, Indianapolis at 4-5, Los Angeles at 5-3, and Denver at 5-4. How does that all shake out?
So, I want to kind of wrap my arms around the Chargers right now because you still have that thing in the back of your head that's what's going to happen with the Chargers, what seems to always happen with the Chargers. But I mean, Jim Harbaugh is the coach now, and Justin Herbert's starting to get really comfortable and play well. And, in that offense and you see the markings of a Harbaugh team. The defense has played great. Like the defense, between, what they've been able to get out of Derwin James and Khalil Mack and some of the older vets on that team, and then what they're able to do on offense in the run game, which wasn't there previously. J.K. Dobbins has kind of undergone like a career renaissance there. I look at the teams like beyond the five that you mentioned, like they feel to me like a pretty dangerous one that like could advance a round or two in the playoffs. Mm. And then I'm just like looking at the standings and how Cincinnati played. You guys don't want to rule them out, do you?
No, but that was a big loss for them. That was a big loss for them last night.
It was. And if they can beat the Chargers, now they play the Chargers next. If they can beat the Chargers next, then they have their bye and they have a little bit of a shot to reset. I think they're similar to the Ravens in a certain way. Like they've got this explosive offense with weapons all over the place and an MVP candidate, a quarterback, and their defense can't can't stop a nosebleed. You know, like, so, and it's a defense that has been pretty good over the last few years, but it's gotten older in some key spots. So I think Cincinnati and Baltimore, like, this is the second time we've seen them play that type of game where it's just who has the ball last, it feels like, you know?
Bert, I wanted to ask you, since we were sitting here last week talking about, or earlier this week talking about the Patriots going for two or not going for two at the end of last weekend's game. That was the exact same scenario Cincinnati had last night, and they went for two and didn't get it. Where do you land on this?
So this one, I'm not sure I would have gone for two. There were two over the weekend where I would have. If I was Tampa, I would have. If I was the Patriots, I would have. This one, it's weird. Like the one where like the team actually, maybe it's just like kind of like like the way you think about things. Like it's like being contrarian about it. This is one where I may have not done it because the offense is playing so well. And if you win the toss, you're on the road. You put the ball in the hands of Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, and you go. Now, I can understand Zach Taylor's logic. I think that was the Ravens that scored on 4 straight possessions. I think that was the number, right?
Yeah, probably. I mean, the 34 points scored in total in that fourth quarter last night.
Yeah. So, I mean, there's that element of it, like, which is like, do you think that you can prevent overtime? You know, the way the defense was playing, and then if you get to overtime and you lose the toss, is the game over? So I can understand it. I just think like they've got too much experience where I would trust my team to kind of be able to find a way there. Whereas, you know, in the situations of Tampa was playing without Mike Evans, without Chris Godwin. I know they felt like they were sort of out of bullets there. And the Patriots were, I mean, clearly the Patriots in their 2-point situation, they were definitely out of bullets. Like for them to tie that game, Drake May had to run around for 12 seconds and make something happen, you know? So like in the circumstances over the weekend, and I hate to second guess, like it feels like I'm second guessing every coach here, but like in the circumstances over the weekend, those two, I think I definitely would have gone for two. In this one, I would have been a little bit more reluctant just based on the circumstances.
Okay. So you like the Chargers, but there's two, and then you like, since there's two more wild card spots and a lot of very mediocre to bad teams.
Well, I mean, like I just trust I trust Jim Harbaugh and Joe Burrow more than I trust Denver right now or Indianapolis right now. God, the Jets are they're in the 10th spot now. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
like
because they beat the Texans.
They're not out of it.
Right. I know you're very down on them because of your relationship with Saleh. I understand. I'm kidding.
That sounds like a bitter Jet fan.
Yes, it is. Of course it is. My son, I only have 2 more years with my son to watch these games. And then I'm going to die. But they did beat the Texans. If they beat Arizona, which you don't think they're going to do, right? But if they go on the road and they beat Arizona, they're in a playoff position at that point.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree with that because at that point, like if we're going to call Cincinnati a playoff contender, we got to call the Jets one because they have the same record, right? So, yeah, I mean, like the Jets are like the Bengals, and like, you know, when I've talked to Bengals people the last couple of weeks, it's like, we just need to get to the bye and reset. You know, we're a good team. We just need to get to the bye and reset. And I sort of feel like the Jets people you talk to say the same sorts of things, is that they really, it's a gassed team right now. You know, they're going to the West Coast again. And I mean, you can dress this up any way you want. The schedule maker screwed them. You know, they've played 2 Thursday night games. They opened on the West Coast and then played a second road game coming off of that. They had to go to London. It was the schedule was brutal for them, no matter how you slice that. So they felt like for a while, like if we can get to the bye, then we can catch our breath a little bit and reset. But yeah, I mean, I guess you circle the 5 teams you think that are going to make the playoffs here, and you know, like outside of that, I mean. I'm not saying like the Dolphins could get back in it, but I mean, again, they're like even in the loss column with the Bengals too.
Yeah,
you know, this could be really weird down the stretch.
Yes, a bad team's going to get in the playoffs, basically.
Well, and I don't even know, like, but that's the thing is like if Cincinnati gets in the playoffs and their defense gets a little better, if If the Jets start playing well, like those might not be bad teams.
And Bert, and that's the thing is the Jets and Cincinnati have lost to good teams in bad ways. Like or I didn't put that right, but Cincinnati lost to Kansas City. It was controversial end. They lose to Baltimore at the end. It's a controversial end. Because there was talk if there was several penalties on the 2-point conversion. The Jets miss a field goal to beat Denver. The Jets miss an extra point in a field goal and lose to the Patriots. There's. But the Patriots game's not as egregious as the two with Cincinnati. But, they're a good kicker or good
Dolphins,
officiating away from being, winning records.
The Dolphins, you could just say, clearly not having the quarterback affected them in a huge way.
Sure. Well, they were maybe the worst team in football without the quarterback.
And even the last couple of weeks, they've lost games to Buffalo and Arizona, but those are good teams, and they were with those teams blow for blow. You know what I mean? And the offense actually played well. I think Tua played well in those two games. So you look at the Dolphins, you could say, I could see them finding a way to sneak back in this thing.
Yeah, sir. One or two of these teams is going to make the playoffs. All right, who's the best team in the NFL right now?
It's just as far as the way they're playing. Again, it's so hard
set up for success.
Yeah, I've come under attack for saying the team I'm gonna say, because it's the same thing as Patriots fans back in the day. You know what I mean? So the Kansas City people be like, "Well, they're undefeated and the 2-time defending champions." The team that's playing the best right now, I think, clearly is Detroit.
Yeah,
let that sink in for an extra beat.
That's why I asked him. I knew he was going to say Detroit. Is Goff the MVP right now, or is Lamar Jackson? Who's the MVP?
So I did this story I did that's up on the website now. It just went up on our mid-season. Yes, my mid-season poll of executives. I have 20 executives on the panel that voted on it. The MVP was overwhelmingly Lamar Jackson. I would say I would give it to Lamar right now, just based on what he's had to fight through. They turned over 60% of their offensive line. That is. That's a lot, and they've had to win with a deficient defense. Maybe, the worst stretch of defense they've played in a long time there. And Lamar had to be Superman last night for them to win. And that's what separates him from Goff for me. I think Goff has played excellent football, as efficient as you could possibly play. I think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL right now. But what do the Lions need from him on a week-to-week basis for him to be for them to win? There was that game, I think, what was it, 2 weeks ago, where there was a point in that game when they had 9 net passing yards and 42 points. What does that tell you? You know what I mean? It's a team that can win so many different ways. And so I love the way that Jared Goff's playing. He deserves all the credit in the world. But the Ravens, there have been points when the Ravens needed Lamar Jackson. Both Cincinnati games, you could argue, they needed Lamar Jackson to be Superman to win those games, and he was, and so, I have a hard time not giving it to Lamar. I'd put Josh Allen in that mix too, and I think Joe Burrow has a chance to kind of come around the corner if Cincinnati gets their, together, and say Cincinnati gets to 10 wins. I think Joe Burrow has been as important to his team as anybody in the NFL as well.
You want a fun fact? Since Sunday,
and we didn't even talk about Mahomes. Mahomes is a good candidate, right?
That's right. All right. So since September 22nd, Amon St. Brown has been targeted 27 times. How many catches does
27?
Amon St. Brown has 27.
27 for 27. I saw that too.
Goff has not thrown an incomplete pass to Amon St. Brown in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games. Every pass he's thrown has been completed. And by the way, he's 112-yard game in there. He's just very efficient. Touchdowns in every game.
Yeah,
but this is kind of what worries me though, Bert, because you can see stuff like that, and you watch the lines, you watch Detroit, and there's no title or award for the best team in the NFL. I get that. It really doesn't matter, but I then look at Kansas City as a team, and not just because they're undefeated, but because they haven't played well in certain games,
at times,
and yet they win.
Yeah.
And that's what kind of that's what worries me, I guess. If you think down the road, if you just for whatever reason don't want Kansas City to win another Super Bowl, the way that team is built and the way they play and the way they're coached, I just don't know that they're going to lose a game that is in any way winnable. If they are close, middle of the fourth quarter, even start of the fourth, they're not going to lose a game.
So wait, Hardy, you're saying that's what worries you?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see how far you've come here as a Lions fan, right? You are worried about what's going to happen in the Super Bowl.
Stopped him dead in his tracks with that one.
I've been nervous the last couple of weeks.
You are worried about what? Think about that, Hardy.
No. That's why I prefaced it with I don't want to see Kansas City in the Super Bowl. I've seen that movie multiple times. I'm not interested in watching Patrick Mahomes and
Never
Travis
bet
Kelce
against that guy.
and anyone else. I don't want them in the Super Bowl, and I certainly don't want them to win another Super Bowl. Just the way the entire rest of the country felt about the Patriots for years. That's how I now, as a football fan, feel about Kansas City. But it worries me that I don't think they're going to. I'm still going to take the money line against every team that they play for the rest of the season until somebody beats them, because I think someone's going to pop them. I just don't know how it happens, Bert.
Yeah, and I think it's. I mean, I you look at their roster too, and there are enough ascending young players and new pieces where you can reason with yourself that they're going to just keep getting better. You know, you can reason with it. If you really look at it, it's. All right, so on defense, they've got Trent McDuffie and George Karlaftis and Nick Bolton, and these are all young guys that they're relying on, and maybe they get a little bit healthier at corner. And then on offense, what happens when they start to really incorporate DeAndre Hopkins into what they're doing and, get Juju Smith-Schuster back. And their track record now of revitalizing guys' careers, whether it was guys who were there previously or guys who were coming from the outside and were star players and maybe had fallen off a little bit, is looking like what New England had done for all of those years. I look at the way they bring back Juju Smith-Schuster and Kareem Hunt. And isn't it just like when the Patriots brought Deion Branch back? And Deion Branch seemed like he was in disrepair. And then he comes back to the Patriots, and all of a sudden he's a really good player again.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. And so I'm with you. They're going to be you can kind of look at it and start to wrap your head around the idea that this is a team that should keep getting better. And maybe their rut for this year is what they just came out of.
Right. And they're undefeated.
Right. All right. We got Bird here. He'll hang around, and we'll be right back.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy.
many offers to become an insider.
For him, it was just the ability to escape, the danger and flip the field, almost go down, and make a guy miss. I thought it was a very impressive play. We were joking in the quarterback room that, how did you know that you were going to make that guy miss? And he made the comment, well, you can't look at him. So I think he was setting up. I think it was Key who had him, and then he sidestepped him and continued to extend. So really impressive play by him and by all involved.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Pucks and Paddles is back November 20th at the House of Blues, Boston, to benefit the Special Olympics, Massachusetts. Bidding is officially underway. To play with your favorite active Bruins player, you can play with me, Ryan Johnston, or Hardy. Visit the events page at 985thesportshub.com to bid now. Bert Breer from MMQB and the Amazon Thursday Night Football team is on with us. Do you live 46 miles from here, Bert?
That might be right. Hold on. Let me look it up.
Yeah, it is. Well, I did. How close to Duxbury High School do you live?
Pretty close.
46 miles from here to Duxbury High School.
Quick trip.
That's far. How often do you guys have to come into the city or come into the Boston area?
Well, we're not. It's like it'd probably be like 30, maybe like 32, something like that from here to Boston. So, I mean, I go in. I go into you guys to do TV in Needham, and then I don't have to go to the city very much. I go to the city to go to the airport. If we're taking the kids to something or whatever, but I'm not in the city all that much. Not as much as I used to be.
All right. I mean, because you're making a very, very
he's got
interesting decision.
Waterfront property, baby. Looks out his window. I'm sure the Atlantic's right there.
Are you is it waterfront property?
It's 48 miles. It says here.
Wow.
To you guys for me. So yeah, I mean I would say that, but that's not really the problem. The problem is Route 3. Because even if there's a little fender bender on Route 3, Jameli knows this. The whole highway is screwed.
I'm estranged.
If one little thing, and for some reason, people on that highway do not know how to drive. So it's made worse by the fact that everybody needs to examine someone gets pulled over, and everybody needs to just turn and look. It's just the most asinine thing you could possibly imagine.
All right. So
don't talk to me.
I'm gonna have a heart attack and die on that highway. I swear to God.
All right.
That's
here we
how
go.
I'm gonna go.
You pissed off Nick. All right, here we go.
I did?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
You're
it's
the
his
one who
fault.
pissed him off.
Okay.
That's what he did.
It's all his fault.
All right, listen. Bert,
By the way, I did want to give you guys this because I was trying to look it up because I knew it was ridiculous. Jared Goff, Hardy, this one's for you. Jared Goff's completion percentage.
Oh, God.
Over his last 6 games, right, which is a third of an NFL season.
85%.
83%.
Yep.
106 for 128. He has 106 completions and 22 incompletions. That is ridiculous.
It's one of the reasons why I'm getting real nervous, and they're also still giving up lots of points, and it's enough to give you a heart attack.
But man-to-man defense, which is what they wanted to prove.
Darius Smith, baby, that's why they went and got him.
They are much better in man coverage now, which is allowing them to put pressure on. Go ahead, Johnny.
Bert, I wanted to. We held an extensive discussion about Jerry Jones earlier this week, and looking at Jerry, he's not the same guy. My point was, when you used to look at Jerry, and you covered the Cowboys for a while, there was a presence there. Now he just looks like an old man with sunken eyes that has crossed that imaginary line into madness. How do you see him at this point?
Yeah, I think there's there's an unpredictability to him that I think's always existed. That's probably gotten a little worse, where you maybe don't know what you're getting on a day-to-day basis, and I think for the most part, as crazy as he's been. One thing I will say is people who work there generally like working there. If you go back and you look over the years, the people who've left there continue to have good relationships with him and the team. And
are they paid well, Bert? The not just the coaches, but it's a huge staff on these teams. everybody in the front office and the marketing people, are they well compensated?
I would say, I don't think it's like top of the league. What I would say is people that are treated really well. I would say the teams that really take care of their employees, I'd probably put Philly in that category, probably Baltimore in that category. I don't know that Dallas would be way up there with those teams. But so they're maybe a little more middle of the pack in the way they pay. But I do think they treat their employees really well. And again, people who work there generally like going to work there. So for as crazy as Jerry is and can be, generally it's been a place where people want to go work. It's a place that players gravitate to. Over the years, that's become a destination for players. And, a huge part of that, of course, is the allure of playing on that stage and for that team. And, everything that comes with it. The Yankees of pro football, you know what I mean? But they are treated pretty well there. Again, I don't think the pay is I don't think you look at it and say yes, they're way up there at the top of the league in the way they pay people. No.
Why is the league going to rethink putting them on national television so much? I mean, I understand that,
but you look at the ratings, Fred. Look at the ratings. It's undeniable. I think I said this to you guys. It was interesting. I remember when I was debating whether or not to take the job and get in Dallas. There's a guy down there named Rick Gosselin who, was a really good, really great mentor of mine and legendary sports writer down there. And we were talking about the decision on, covering the Patriots versus covering the Cowboys. And he said to me, he goes, "Well, let me ask you this: if the Patriots are 11-5, are they relevant in Boston?" "Yes." "Yep." And he goes, "If the Patriots are 5-11, are they relevant in Boston?" I'm like, "Yeah, but probably a lot less so." Remember, this is 2007. I'm like, "Yeah, but probably a lot less. So they probably fall way down the list." And then he says to me, "Okay." He goes, "In Dallas and across the country, if the Cowboys are 11-5, they're super relevant." He goes, "If they're 5-11, they're probably more relevant than they were when they were 11-5. And it's crazy, but that's sort of the way it is with them. They have what all these other owners want. All these other owners that have won Super Bowls and everything else, they want to have that brand that is just impervious to winning and losing and is relevant no matter what. And the Cowboys are almost more relevant when they're bad than when they're good. Right now, they're a very relevant topic. Turn on the talk shows. You know what I mean? They're still talking about the Cowboys. There's no other team like that. There might not be another team like that in pro sports. So, I understand what you're saying, and I understand fans who get frustrated by continuing to see them on national television. But the reality is, if you don't want to see it, turn it off. People aren't turning it off.
No,
people continue to find the Cowboys compelling.
Yeah. The networks, the networks would put it. They would put another team on if they thought another team was going to draw numbers, regardless of their record.
Right. I mean, that's the thing is the Patriots have found out in a very real way over the last couple of years. Their brand is not close to Dallas's brand. They were a very successful team for 20 years, but their brand isn't what Dallas's was. And there are other brands that I think in the NFL are relevant, almost, even when they're bad, they're relevant, the Steelers, the Packers. But yeah. I just think Dallas is on a different level than the other ones.
All right. Well, it's a shame because it's pretty boring. I got to be honest with you. I have turned.
But you don't like the drama of it. A lot of people do.
I like that
But you don't get the drama in the game.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I like it during the week.
We're talking about Jerry. We're sitting here on a talk show in Boston talking about Jerry Jones.
We just said that. I like that Jerry Jones is this way, and it looks like he's getting older. And from a great distance, it looks like he's losing his fastball a little bit. And sure, that's entertaining. But that doesn't make 3 hours on a Sunday go by.
There's always, though, Fred, there's always been this crazy, a Fox element to it, though. Part of it is he knows what he's doing.
I don't. But does he? Did he know what he was doing? Going on the local radio show and saying he's going to get those guys
one,
fired?
Yes.
Okay.
That one. I mean, he wouldn't apologize to the guy on the air the next week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think he does. He knows when he's weighing whether to say something or. I think there is a part of it that it's the way he views it. I think the best way to put it, the way he views it, And it's a really interesting way to look at it because so many, I give him credit for this because so many of these guys take themselves so seriously, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jerry views all of this as a big soap opera and himself as a character in it. You know what I mean? Like, I think he like really views it as like, there's football and the football part of it's important, but we're also an entertainment product.
Right.
And that entertainment product is this big soap opera for guys. And I am a character in this soap opera.
Ken Patera.
And so, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, it's
like,
wrestling. He like off the field, it's like wrestling. The danger of what Jerry Jones does, and look, he's got a lot of, material success in life. The danger with the in terms of the game is that, look, this isn't going to happen anytime soon, but if it just teams become just a plaything for some guy, and you're just paying the guy to play with something, do you know what I'm saying? If it doesn't feel like it's ingrained in the community, and there is, like, it's not just on the whims, even though every team might be ultimately on the whims of a guy, it's not as fun if it's just like some, like in Carolina, like some dick like going around just doing stupid crap.
But it's also not like Jerry. It's also not like the Cowboys. Like, say what you will about like Jerry, the GM, and the roster's not as good this year. But like over the last 15 years, 20 years, since I would say going back to like when Parcells was the coach, right? How many years have there been where you said, yeah, the talent on the team is the problem?
Yeah, I know. I've always said he's drafts well. Yeah, all of that. It's just that they don't win.
They have a personnel guy there named Will McClay, who is as respected as anybody in football, who's turned down opportunities to go pursue GM jobs because he likes it there and because he doesn't need the credit. And he could very easily be someone's GM. Like, if the Patriots were seeking a new GM, I would put the guy in Dallas at the very top of the list.
Right.
Like, Will McClay would be right up there
That's
with
interesting.
A few other guys. And, like, I do think, like, I look at it and it's like, okay, like, we can complain about Jerry, the GM. The reality is, like, they've had good players. Now, if we're talking about, like, what this does to the people when they're there, like, he's put good people there. Now, what it does to the good people when they're there, and whether or not that's the difference between being a playoff team and being able to win Super Bowls, like, now I think we've got a really very real argument where Jerry does have a negative effect on what happens from a football standpoint at times.
Well, by the way, that Will McClay job is the best job in football. You're in Dallas, Jerry Jones takes all the heat, and you get to be a GM, and that's the first time I've ever heard that name in my life.
And he is like, and honestly, like, if I were the Patriots, if I were any team this offseason, I mean, there are a handful of names that would be on that list. A guy in Kansas City, Mike Borgonzi, a guy in Tampa, John Spytek. I'm just telling, like, Will McClay would be right at the top of that list.
That's very interesting. And Hardy, this is not even a question for Bert because we have to break, but I'm thinking of it. Bert, just say yes or no. It seems like Ben Johnson does not have a desire to leave the Lions, is the word coming out of people. Is that true, Bert?
I don't think he's in any rush to leave. I think just the perception I've gotten. Now, he's made some changes behind the scenes too, which indicate to me like his search for a head coaching job is going to be very targeted from here on out. And like, he's going to be assessing each situation. And I think, like, he said this in his press conference the other day. That's the same way I've heard it. Like, he mentioned, like, I really love play calling. I want to be a play caller as a head coach if I'm going to be a head coach somewhere. I think it sort of speaks to, like, how, like, he's looking for something very specific if he's going to leave to go become a head coach.
He makes a lot of money, and he's just waiting. He's like only
and
Woody
he's got
Johnson.
Security. I mean, like as far as coordinators go, who's more secure than Ben Johnson right now?
And it's got to be fun for everyone to love you so much because they don't know. I mean, he could go somewhere and tank, and then it's over. Like, just soak the love in. And by the way, Woody Johnson, he's just like, when's that Jets opening happening? That's what Ben Johnson's looking for. He's like, there's only one team in the NFL.
There's only one owner you want to work for, right?
That's run so well, and it's got to be that team. I want to practice on Long Island.
Well, Bert,
we might have had a big development as far as Jets ownership goes on Tuesday there with the election, right? Like,
well, does he want to do that again? Because Woody Johnson, we're getting so in the weeds, but Woody Johnson was Ireland, the dignitary for Ireland?
No. It was the UK, and that's Ambassador Johnson.
Ambassador Johnson to you.
Yeah, so his brother ran the team while he was gone, and everyone likes his brother more than him.
His brother's actually a really nice guy who's I would say a little less all over the place than what he is.
Yeah, well, there you have it. Yeah. That's good to know that the team is owned by a trust fund idiot. All right, we'll be back. Here are the headlines. Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. Finishing up here with Bert as we have the end of Headphone Gate. Very exciting, wrapping up a season-long story.
That was a big investigation conducted over there, right?
Yes, it was. I'm not even quite positive, and I'm usually on the forefront of station gossip, unlike Felger, who throws his hands up. He's well above it.
Yeah.
As he is swearing.
Above the fray.
Yeah. He's like, apparently an emailer told Hardy and I he was going after Jason Tatum for swearing in a press conference. It's like, well, the whole reason I think that you guys do an after show is so you can swear. Because there's forced swearing. Which seems very, very. Seems very forced.
Wait a minute. You think that's forced?
It does.
Seems completely natural to me.
And what's funny is that like everyone thinks.
So he's trying to be edgy.
Yes.
Oh no.
Jim seems natural. Like Jim would be swearing like that.
No,
Felger seems forced.
Yeah, I've been around Jim enough to know Jim. I mean, Jim's probably like me. Like I had to like teach myself not to swear on the air. You know, I'm sure you guys, Fred. I'm sure you're the same way. Like I had to teach myself like. And I've let a couple. I think I've let a couple slip with you guys, right?
Probably. I've never sworn.
I don't know. Huh?
I've never sworn on the air, ever in my career.
Okay.
Is that your religion?
No. I've said stuff that got me in a lot of trouble, and I've said stuff that had to get dumped.
You've never sworn on the air.
I've never sworn. Yeah. I've never sworn on the. I've never said one of the 7 dirty words on the air.
And you should feel good about that and saying it and having the confidence of saying it, but also the understanding that that's not what really gets you in trouble anyway.
Oh, under no circumstances. I've said things that are way, way worse than swearing.
Right.
Like whole thoughts in like bits. Horrible. But that have gotten me in trouble. But I've only been suspended once. It was by
I've learned, I've had to learn some of the rules of radio by fire, which is like, what is it like the rule of thumb that like, if it's an action, don't say it, right? Like if it's a,
yes.
Right. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Whatever that rule is, right?
Well, the biggest rule is you can call someone a pussy. Like you can go like, Oh,
you can. Okay.
You can go John Smith's a pussy, but you can't, use it in other ways.
Right. Bert got in the closest I've seen to Bert really getting in trouble was when Louth lost his mind one day. There was a phrase that was uttered on the midday show that Zoe thought was funny. Someone was giving someone like a. Do you remember this, Bert?
I don't, but keep going. I'm sure I'll be able to once you tell the story.
We were looking at video and somebody had given somebody like a sideways glance, and someone said, "Yeah, it's like just the side of his head." And Zoe said, "Oh, like side head?" And that was it. And it was gone. It was fleeting. But Bert must have said it 5 more times.
I do remember that now.
For whatever reason, Jim didn't think it was appropriate in the context. I'm not going to get into the context because I don't want to get us in trouble.
You don't want Jim on your case.
No, it was obvious that Jim didn't want us to say. It was back when Jim was producing the show. And Bert said it 5 more times. And I think Jim ended up dumping it and then going to commercial.
You could almost see I remember that because you can legitimately see the stress on Jim's face. In those situations.
His whole bald head got red.
You could just see that look. Like he has this look almost like he's like lost when that happens. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. So yeah, I didn't remember the exact phrasing, but I do remember that circumstance.
There's nothing more joyous in life than someone getting offended by gradually more and more offended by something you say that's you're saying that you personally think is entirely non-offensive, and then just pushing them and pushing them and pushing them. Same thing with it being annoying. That's the greatest. But I've told this story many times in the year, but I'll just finish this up here because we have to get into this headphone thing. Is that Otto and George were on Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony were on terrestrial radio, and they had a dump. And when the dump was out, they played Van Halen's Jump. The management didn't trust them with no dump. And Otto and George, the famous ventriloquist act, came in, and they said, "Hey, Otto and George." Otto and George got on and immediately blew through the 3 dumps, and it was Van Halen time. They couldn't even get through it. If you listen to Otto and George and Opie and Anthony on terrestrial radio, you go, "Oh my God, that was on the radio." Well, the wiffle ball bat challenge, I would imagine, wouldn't go over well with the women's groups now.
No, the church situation would probably be.
But that was fake even. And what's funny about them getting fired for the church thing is that was a sponsored bit. And
Was it really?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was Sam Sex for
Adams.
Sam Adams. And it was a sponsored segment that had been cleared by management because having sex in the church, I can't remember what church, the famous one in New York, was one of the contest things.
Was it like Was it St. Peter's Cathedral?
St. Patrick's.
St. Patrick's
St.
Cathedral.
Patrick's. That's where it happened?
Yeah, but I guess it really wasn't happening. I guess it was fake.
Isn't that like where the Kennedys got married?
I don't know if that makes it more important to you.
Okay.
But anyway, it was. They had a list of like things that you could do. It seems like kind of contrived now, but it was a list of things you could do, and that was one of them. And that had gone through the machinations, legal to get on to be approved. So I was always fascinated that they were fired for that because it really ultimately wasn't their fault. I guess it just made people so crazy that they felt there was no other option. But then, they sat out 2 years and got paid, and then they went to satellite radio and made a bunch more money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, who's the loser there?
I'd say they won in the end, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bert, listen. Everyone loves Bert Breer. Read him on the MMQB. Watch him on Amazon. Thank you so much for the time, sir.
And thanks for being flexible, guys. And a big F you to everybody who turned and looked at the accident on Route 3 in Marshfield this morning. Appreciate what you guys did to our commute.
All right. Thank you, Bert. We will be right back. Headphone Gate has come to an end.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
The NBA is back. You know this. And FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, wants you to...
headlines.
Brad Marchand backhanded in his own rebound with 20 seconds left in overtime, and the Bruins scored a 4-3 home win over Calgary at TD Garden last night. Marchand got his chance after a great play by Elias Lindholm behind the net.
He did a great job pursuing the puck after the face-off. I think he kind of started jumping on the D, and he pounced on it. Did a great job winning that battle and putting it out front, and that's his issue.
Hampus Lindholm, Pavel Zacha, and Cole Koepke also scored for the Bruins in the win. They'll play Ottawa and good friend Linus Ullmark at the Garden tomorrow night. Celtics will be home tonight to play Brooklyn. Grandy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Jaylen Brown out again for the Green. Luke Cornett is listed as doubtful with a tight right hamstring. The Patriots are once again without Kyle Duggar and Christian Ellis at practice yesterday. They're in Chicago on Sunday. Baltimore held off Cincinnati last night 35-34. Christian McCaffrey will make his season debut for San Francisco in Tampa this weekend, and the MLB Network is reporting that the Red Sox and Baltimore are among the teams interested in Dodgers free agent outfielder Teoscar Hernandez. Sports Hub headlines are driven by the Albrecht Auto Group, Zoe's Auto Dealer. Get respect at Albrecht with 7 locations and thousands of new and pre-owned vehicles. Get the right vehicle at the right price now at albrechtauto.com. I'm John Wallach at Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 8:30.
Let's talk turkey, shall we?
Blah, 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 blah.
Oh, in the sports industry, that's what you say.
Got your talking head right here, buddy.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy.
Such an fantastic explosion.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. You can watch us on YouTube. Search 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. There's a big chat going on, and plus you can watch it after the show, too. All right, here's the deal. Tony Maserati and Felger and Maz is a usually pretty regimented show. Like, as you know, and has been made obvious, they talk about sports. They want to keep things moving along, and then they want to go back, and then it's all real set up. So whenever something bursts through and kind of breaks that pattern, your ears perk up. Such was the case when Tony Maserati could not find his headphones.
Maz, you get your headset situation settled over there?
Nope.
What's the matter?
Somebody took my headphones. I don't know who has
When you say somebody, who do you think?
Well, I guessed Zoe. That was the obvious place to start, but I saw him outside the studio. He said he didn't take them. I put it on my desk.
At what point did you lose the headphones?
I don't know.
I don't
They
understand.
were there when I left them yesterday.
On your desk?
On my desk.
Someone took them off your desk?
Someone took them off my desk.
Who typically takes things off your desk, though?
Zoe. Apparently, I have to lock up everything over there.
We're all freaking adults here, and we're stealing stuff off of people's desks.
We're all like Don Morocco in 1984, seasoned wrestlers. You're acting like dang gold dust.
How many on-air people, by the way, have desks at the radio station?
That's what I was why I was stopping it,
Yeah.
is that it's just so ridiculous that he has a cubicle. It's really fascinating. Bert does like national hits, like the Eisen Show, from that conference room.
Yeah,
Like
I'll tell you how many people have desks at this radio station. 2, Maz and Felger. That's it.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
And there's people in the conference room, like Bert has his computer up on a box of baseball cards that someone sent me, and he's doing like Colin Coward.
Right.
And you're like, well, if you could do that there, why the hell do they need desks? And it's just a place to stack things, which is inviting everyone to steal. You're basically inviting it. We know everyone steals at radio stations. It's cliched and old, but it's true. So, I mean, you're just asking people to steal from you. It's really quite an ego stroke that they ask for those.
No kidding.
It's almost
We're all freaking adults here.
Yeah, like Ken Patera with a backbreaker. That'll put hair on your chest.
Make sure Maz and Felger have their names right there up on the cubicle. And come on,
it's
give
almost
me a
as
break.
absurd as having your own board that doesn't do anything. Your own place in studio.
Finally came around.
No. It had a reason. It had a reason, but it didn't come through. It had a reason in Brighton, but then slowly they took things away.
Apparently, I have to lock up everything over there.
We're all freaking adults here, and we're stealing stuff off of people's desks and going through cases to do it.
Timothy writes in Maz's headphones. I watched a video from a few weeks ago of Maz's headset was black with a blue stripe on the side.
Correct.
That's them.
If those are the headphones missing, then you can blame the morning show. Esoteric was wearing them this morning. You can check the YouTube video they uploaded this morning. Tim and Sturbridge ratting out the morning show.
So then I asked Nick Ciamelli and Tom Morgan from the morning show, Tom said he knows nothing about it. Nick then texted and admitted that he took them. Jamelli said that Tom was supposed to get the headphones after the show was over. So again, I really don't care about the $100. Where are my headphones? Where are my headphones? Where are they? Someone's got my headphones.
What's the last part from?
Gonna have an aneurysm.
It's from the off-air show.
Oh, geez.
Ryan put a little supercut together.
Okay.
Who took them?
So
where are they?
Nick. So the way it ended is Nick admitted that it was him. So Nick is the kind of guy that's on death row, and they're about to execute him, and he goes, "Wait a second."
Nick then texted and admitted that he took them.
And then Nick was the kind of guy who's about to get executed. He goes, "Wait a second, what's going on? I didn't do it." So here's Zolak out of nowhere. So we're in our post-show meeting. We're clowning around.
Yeah.
We're having fun in the conference room where
we have no desks.
Yeah, but there's a big table,
Big
a conference
table we
room
sit at.
table.
We have no office for this show.
No, but it's better to have the conference room, I contend, because there is an office for the show, just we don't use it. There's an office, believe me, when we kept everything on CD, there's an office that's essentially a storage room for CDs.
Okay.
But so we do have ones because, Rick's going to go, and you have an office. And I got a phone call from the company about if you had an office or not. And my phone rang 3 times.
Ring-a-ding-ding.
Ring-a-ding-ding. Gosh, what the heck is this phone? Hello. What? Hello. Hi, Rick. Yeah. The morning show was talking about having an office. Time to craft an email. Yes, that is Gary Delmonte. To whom it may concern.
Sure. Dear
your
Morning
comments
Show.
on the Dear Morning Show, your comments have made a boatload of work for me. My inbox done runneth over. I'm knee deep in it now. I was trying to take 30 winks. Yes, it's Gary Delabate. I understand. I'm copying an impression. All right, here we go. Here is Zolak yesterday. I've not heard this. But Bertrand came screaming into the conference room.
He was moving quickly.
You could feel the energy in the station change. Something happened.
Yeah,
it was
like-
breaking news.
And if this isn't a big deal to the audience, know that unironically and not kidding and over dramatizing, this is a very big deal around here.
Oh, it is.
Because Felger and Maz are never we're not in their orbit like the midday show and us and Joe. Like we never communicate with them really. Yeah. I mean, Hardy's good friends with Maz, but you know what I'm saying.
I talked to Maz. But I talked to Felger last week, and it was the first time I had spoken with him since I saw him at the golf tournament in June.
Yeah, I see. I talked to Felger at the golf tournament, and it's like through people, like it's like over people, and I like Felger.
Yeah,
but it's just like. They might as well be on another planet because we never run into them.
But this is a big deal because in my conversations with Maz, it was dominated for about a week to 10 days about the headphones. He would text me about it, he would call me about it, and I'm good enough friends with him where I said, Maz, you got to leave me alone with this. I don't know what's going on with your headphones. Leave me out of it.
Face
Stop
was red
it.
for
It's-
2 weeks. Yeah.
And remember that Nick admitted taking them, and it had ended on our end with Nick had taken him, and Nick was fine with that. Nick's like, yeah, I took him. But Nick apparently ratted himself out for something he wasn't even responsible for. Because here's what happened yesterday on the midday show, very early. Again, breaking news at 10 o'clock as always.
Whose headphones are those?
Oh, these were on the floor over there. I forgot mine again.
Yeah, but who do they belong to?
Nobody now.
They don't work anymore.
No, they don't.
Those particular.
I was talking on an old timey phone.
If anybody's got headphones, can you have them bring them in? Tyler, extra pair. Sorry. I had this one. That's not working. I feel like the Bee Gees. Love somebody. But I at least can hear.
We can't even get
So
rolling.
go ahead.
I can't even get into a segment and get rolling.
I know. I got in at 10. I needed 5 minutes. I didn't have them.
I'm pretty sure you stole Maz's headphones, didn't you?
No.
Oh, definitely.
Definitely was.
He was the guy.
Yeah, that's the word on the street.
I actually did. And I didn't know.
Oh! Whoa! Out of nowhere.
So just out of nowhere, he's just like, I admit it. And he's denied it several times. Now, here's what you know about Zoe. You give him information. You're giving him that information because you want him to give that information. That we know.
That's not true.
But when it's his own, no one gossips
That's
quite
not
like Zolak.
true. Come on.
Zolak is a gossip, but it's fun. I like it because he has all the info. But and I like gossip too. But I can keep a secret occasionally. But this just we've been over this.
Hey,
we've been
everyone,
over
Wallach
this.
has diarrhea. I just made sure everyone knows.
If it doesn't seem like a big deal to me, I'll tell it.
Oh, okay.
If it seems, I have my own parameters. We've discussed this.
Which are different than everyone else's, by the way. But that's
Families are off limits. Hi! Families are off limits. Straight! Families are off limits.
Yep. You're not a gossip at all. You keep secrets.
Children are completely off limits.
Okay.
And the criminal activity or drug activity is off limits. But something like John having revolting diarrhea and being very uncomfortable during the show has to be announced.
A segment that led off the next segment after we talked. You know?
Yeah, I just like that stuck with you. When I've admitted to having diarrhea, I've admitted it.
But in the context of this conversation, when you say you're a good secret keeper, I have this evidence that points otherwise.
Yeah, but I would, as silly as I'm being, you have to agree that in terms of secrets, that's not a secret. You had diarrhea, but I mean that's not.
It's not something I've said. Here, Fred, you really should talk about this on the air.
But from 6 to 10, I have an obligation to be entertaining, and you getting bothered by that was entertaining.
I think HIPAA might enter into it at that point. That is medical information.
John, I think that would be a good career move.
Right.
Go to HR on that one. But I'll tell you this, is that I don't even remember where I was going. But I can keep a secret.
Okay.
Damn
The
it.
admission from Zolak as Beetle, I'm shocked that Beetle said, I think you took the headphones, because Beetle was maybe the only one who's pissed about this whole thing as Maz was, because Beetle was pissed that Zoe kept getting accused of taking the headphones. Beetle was legitimately pissed about it.
I find that very difficult to believe. Beetle was angry about
he
something?
He told me, he's like, I'm getting pissed. He keeps saying Zoe did it. Zoe's a lot of things, but he's not going to steal them and then not admit to it.
Beetle
And,
carried a lot of water for his partner
Yes.
on this one.
So
Yes.
Beetle put himself on the line and vouched for Zolak's character.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
And Beetle's pissed all the time anyway, in a fun way.
Yes.
In an endearing way, Beetle's always pissed. So here we go. We continue.
No.
Wow. And we have a breaking news sounder for that?
Ralph busted.
Is breaking sports.
Ralph goes, there's only one guy that rolls up the cord that way, and it's you. And he's right.
That was a good detective work by Lauf there.
Laus that day on the cord said it's got to be Zoe. And you know what? Shame on me for believing you when you told me repeatedly. I didn't think I did. Them. They did not
Nothing
take
else made sense in the
Maz's
whole thing.
headphones. And you were adamant. You were mad. You were mad that it had been.
I didn't.
You had been accused of it, and you were pissed that you had been accused of stealing something.
Right, because Esoteric left him here.
And you didn't know they were Maz's.
Because they look exactly like mine, the Sony's.
So you thought they were yours.
I
You
thought they
later
were mine.
realized they were not yours.
And I didn't take mine out of my bag, and I carried them out. I didn't put them in my bag when I left. I was holding them, threw them in the back of my truck, and I cleaned my truck out.
Have you admitted this to Tony Maserati?
Tony knows.
What the hell difference does it make if you put them in your bag or not? And how do you not know they're your headphones?
A lot of extra details that didn't necessarily need to be there.
Yeah, it sounds like overly detailed.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to leave his little mark on it. It's funny because when you put headphones on every day, even if something was the exact same brand, there's like a fold to the. It's weird. It's like anything else. Like if you use the same pen every day or something. Like if you use something every day, it's tactile. Like you can you know every little nugget of it. He knew what he was doing.
I actually did.
Yeah, he knew that he took them.
I didn't know for a week that I took them.
He knows.
He didn't tell him, but he knows.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
Okay.
You do a good job of going on offense, though, and then you kind of feel bad about exactly.
Deny.
I felt sort of bad. I felt sort of bad for you because you were really like, why am I getting accused of stealing it? I wouldn't steal something like that.
Well, I
only steal people's food.
Right.
And that was a long time ago. That's what you said.
Well, for a week, I did not take the shrimp. I don't like frozen shrimp.
I know. The shrimp episode many years ago was a big deal.
Yeah, Tony, like a maniac, had frozen shrimp here. And then they were taken. It was like $4 in frozen shrimp, I got to imagine. And for whatever reason, that made an itch in Tony that he lost his mind. And you're like, maybe you should lose your mind that you had frozen shrimp at the station and that you need shrimp that badly. That from 2 to 6, shrimp has to be on premises or it's like a disaster. Like I went, whoa. I need shrimp. You want me to be here for 4 hours without shrimp?
Without heating and eating frozen shrimp?
I mean, Jesus, I have to prepare shrimp scampi every Tuesday, people.
The aroma of which is fantastic when you heat it up.
Yeah, like, when you eat at work, overnight oats.
That's right.
Something like a sandwich from the cafeteria.
Shrimp, maybe heat up
A
some broccoli.
banana
with it.
that you throw in your backpack.
Right. And
Done.
it's, we make fun of Al Cole for creating cuisine in the kitchen over at the old station. And Maz, frozen shrimp? What a lunatic. Come on. That's not just me, right? That's a lunatic. That he's bringing frozen shrimp into the community
He used to have small appliances he kept in his locker in Brighton. He had a food processor. He had a juicer.
Yeah.
He had
Are we
stuff
talking about
in there.
Al Cole here? Or
No, this is.
No, we're talking
You're
about-
seriously
this is-
talking about Tony Mazzarella?
Yes.
Yes. Swear to God. Oh, yeah, you don't know this.
No, this is fascinating.
Tony had apparently a bag of frozen shrimp that then went missing, and he lost his mind because he needed that frozen shrimp so badly, and he would prepare it in the kitchen, the community kitchen,
Al Cole style.
Yeah,
never bring seafood into the workplace. That's a big no.
I just don't understand shrimp. It's not even overly good for you. It's not like something that dietary restrictions like you need shellfish, especially with Wallach in the room. My goodness, rubbing that shellfish in his face. Oh, that's right. You turned your back on him.
I got blamed for it.
I know you did.
But I didn't know for a week that I took them. But I did take them.
Oh, boy. So. Well, there's that, ladies and gentlemen. We got to the bottom of the Tony Maz headphone situation. It was, in fact, Scott Zolak who took them. It was an accident. He didn't realize they were not his, but that is what actually happened. Wow.
All right. Here is Zolak, of course, is called in.
What?
Well, you called us.
It's still Nick's fault. Like, he started it all.
Can you believe that Nick admitted to the crime when he didn't even do it?
I didn't touch him at first. He's the one that took him off his desk.
Okay, so Nick took him off the desk, gave him esoteric. Right. Esoteric left him in the station. You picked him up and took him.
You know, I bring a small black bag in with me, a computer bag, every day, and I usually have my headphones in there. Sometimes I carry them separately. So when I sat down, and the frantic crossover, we were tight because I was talking to Esoteric before he left. And so you got 1 minute to set up. I thought those were my headphones.
Okay, fair enough.
Me and Tony have the same headphones.
No, fair enough. Okay,
those
so
stupid Sony headphones.
Yeah, I get it. So when did you realize that you had taken them? Like how long ago?
About 2 weeks ago when I cleaned my truck out.
Okay, and then did you have any predilection to telling Tony? Like, did you think maybe I should tell Tony I have his headphones, or were you going to wait
I thought it was hysterical. So I thought it was hysterical. So I just wound them up really tight, and I wrapped it around. Then I stuck the end through the middle, and there's only one guy in the building that knows how I wrap my headphones, and that's James Louth.
Yeah, he's weird with you, huh? He really
he's strange, man. He keeps me in check, but he turns me loose. He lets the tiger out of the cage every once in a while.
Would he wear your skin? If he was to find you dead, do you think he would wear your skin?
No, only John Hanna's skin would he wear.
All right, there you go. 'Cause that's right, John
Hello,
Hanna.
Clarice.
All right, thank you, Scott.
You know the only one who lost in all of this is out any money. Do you know who that is?
Yeah, the dummy that took him.
No.
It should be.
What?
Nick.
No, me. Because
How'd you lose money?
Nick felt so bad that he bought headphones to replace the ones that you actually had and took and then ruined by wrapping the cord around it like a 3-year-old maniac. So Nick bought new ones to give to Maz. Maz refused them. He said, no, it's fine. You guys just keep them for your show. I felt bad. I said, Nick, if they're for the show, I'll pay for them and I'll just keep them myself. So I'm out $100.
I have to give you $50.
My wife thinks I should pay you back. Yeah.
Oh well, thank you, Annie. But we know
Thanks,
that's
Annie.
not going to happen.
John.
Okay, John.
All right. We have
John.
Pet names for each other. She calls me John. I call her Annie.
So Nick, stop touching people's crap. That's a lesson for Nick.
All right.
Just 3 minutes of my life I won't get back.
All right, thank you, Scott. We appreciate it. I don't understand. I'm with John. I don't really understand
What
what
just
happened.
happened?
Something about $100. Did I know that you gave him $100?
No.
Okay. That was big of you. I'll give you $50.
Nice.
I'll give you $50 right now.
Right
I have it. Yeah, because I told you I bought that Chinese meal. I put my credit card down, so I'm flush with cash. I have like $300 burning a hole in my pocket. My daughter now has gotten very bold taking money out of the wallet. She used to just take 20, but now she'll take 40. And I'll go, because I don't count the money in my wallet. So if you're thinking of breaking in, just feel free to take cash.
Like Janice lifting the money out of Junior's wallet.
Exactly.
Same thing.
But then I'll be wise and I'll say, you took money, didn't you? And she'll go, yeah. And I'll go, you didn't just take $20, did you? And she'll go, no, I took 40. And I'll be like, Zoe, you're a thief.
Right.
And that's what's going on. All right, I will give you the $50 if she hasn't taken all the money in my wallet.
I don't want to. I'd rather keep them for myself if we don't ever end up using them.
All right. I mean, you tell me what you want to do. I'll more than happy to give you $50. All right, here we go. Cedric Maxwell is going to join us for his weekly appearance. We will have him on in just a moment.
Stay tuned for Sports Hub.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy. Cedric Maxwell is the Celtics color analyst on the 98.5 The Sports Hub Celtics radio network. Cedric is brought to you by East Coast Metal Roofing, and he joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline. Cedric Maxwell, hello, sir.
How you doing, gentlemen? I'm doing just well today. I just wonder why y'all brought that intro music in. Please, next time, let me have a little bit of Barry Manilow or something like that when you bring me in. Thank you.
I'm making a note of that, Cedric.
You don't like Camp Low. You did not like Lucchini.
I don't know who that was.
I believe that's from 1993, 94. And it's a New York hip hop group called Camp Low. CAMPLO, a duo.
Well, I'll just say they blow. Okay, how about that?
You like that song. There's no way you don't like the sample of that song.
Did not have you figured for a Barry Manilow guy.
Yeah, Barry Manilow. You can pick me a lot of different things. I go that way. Neil Sedaka, stuff like that. I'm good.
Her name was blank. She was a dancer. What was her name?
Her name was that. I know the lyrics, but I can't get the tune right now. I'm sorry.
Cedric, I'm questioning your love of Barry Manilow. You don't know the words to Copacabana.
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 Yeah, okay. I got it.
You didn't get the name, though.
I don't even know the name.
Lola.
Lisa.
Lola. Her name was Lola.
It's the hottest spot north of where?
Maine.
Yeah.
It's up there in Canada. It's in Nova Scotia.
I'm with Fred. I'm questioning this.
The Copacabana is in Nova Scotia.
And the hottest spot north of Havana.
Right.
Wow. Okay, gentlemen. Wow.
Right.
Well, let me give you this another quiz here. We're gonna go with your blackness today.
Oh, very good. I win.
If I tell you right now, I'm gonna, let me hold $5 until tomorrow. When will you get the money back?
This sounds like a trap.
Yeah.
No,
it's going to be about different ways, Max.
That would be never.
Okay.
It seems like you're laying some kind of racial trap on us.
Yeah, I'm not answering that.
How dare you? This is a paid appearance by you. Now this goes away if we go away.
I got it.
All right. Listen. So what did you make of the Golden State game? We'll start with this. I don't know your thoughts on it, but Tatum didn't shake. What's his face? Steve Kerr's hand afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Jason Tatum is annoyed with Steve Kerr, like aggravated by him?
I would hope not.
Yeah.
I would hope that wouldn't be the case. I was on a show in San Francisco the day before radio, and they were asking me questions. I said Steve Kerr's job was one thing. It wasn't a popularity contest. It was to win an Olympic gold. He did that with the players out there who were playing. If Tatum didn't play in that situation, I don't think he really played as well as Jason Tatum normally plays. So other guys were playing, they won. And I asked Jason Tatum that. I said, people have talked about this stuff till I've gotten sick. And I said, you won a gold medal, you got a new contract, you won a world championship. So how's your life? He said, man, I couldn't be happier right now. So all this stuff with Steve Kerr, I hope it goes out the window because it shouldn't be there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I thought the same thing, is that if you win the gold medal, then your only job was to win the gold medal and to not embarrass the country. You achieved both. Yeah. And then, if he didn't win the gold medal, then you can pick apart everything. But if he wins it, what do you want him to do,
Absolutely. I mean, that I think as a coach sometimes, and I did a little coaching at one time, and it's not a popularity contest. You're not going to be able to play everybody. I don't care who you are or how great you are. Certain guys sat down. Look at Joel Embiid. He did not play in a game during the Olympics, and Steve Kerr explained it. So if your strategy as a coach is to win a gold medal, you win it. You've done what you're supposed to do.
And plus, Tatum's obviously, unless he gets hurt, got a very good chance of being on a couple more, at least, Olympic teams. Yeah. So, he'll get it eventually.
Max, speaking of strategy, the strategy against Golden State was more the same. Going to shoot a lot of 3-pointers, and we're gonna pay attention to the metrics and the math on that. Against a team that also likes to shoot the three a lot. However, it did not work out in the Celtics' favor. So, do you view that as any kind of indictment on the roadmap and the game plan for the Celtics, for the season and how that worked out the other night?
No, I don't, because one, you're missing two of your best players. Jaylen Brown did not play. You didn't have Porzingis. And another reason you didn't play as well, or the game didn't go in your favor, was Drew Holiday, who's been so good from the three-point line, was 0 for 6. So if you want to put these stats together, and, they barely beat you, and I thought they were very physical. It was a competitive game. But they just kind of squeaked it out. They had a little bit more in the tank than you did at the end of the day. And I would not put an indictment on that with the world champions. I think they have come out and they've swung well.
I'm wondering what you thought about Golden State and the way Steve Kerr is playing that team. They're going 11 or 12 deep now. They're very good defensively, but do you think the way Kerr is coaching that team is sustainable over the course of a season?
I think it's going to be tough. But here's the thing. If you play that many people, then you're going to get more rest for guys like, Steph Curry. Won't have to play as much. So not as much wear and tear. But, when you play that number, a lot of times you just play too many people and they don't get a rhythm. Players, normally great players like to play 35, 36 minutes a game. And you don't get that with the way that team was playing. But what I loved about that team was that they defended the three-point line. They were all over that. They didn't care if the Celtics scored inside the paint or not. They took the rhythm away from the three-point line. So I did like their strategy. It worked that particular night. But again, the factors that the Celtics didn't shoot the ball as well in some areas, that was I think that was the mainstay.
Have we asked Max about fighting in basketball at all?
Yes, we have.
Okay, we have.
You have to like Draymond Green. You have to be a fan of his, Max, I would imagine.
You know what? Really, I am. I know I had a argument with Draymond Green during the championship when the Celtics were playing the Warriors. And I was very upset, the way he did. Jaylen Brown kicked him in the head. But at the same time, he did what he did for his team. And they were about that. That was their team then. I think they're employing a different strategy right now. But if you look the way they were so physical with Andrew Wiggins was very good in that game, being up, bodying Tatum. Tatum got up to a slow start, and that was because of the way they played him.
What I do love about Draymond, and I love Draymond, I liked him in college, but the way when he bravely made the second of 2 free throws when he missed the first to put them up 4, that he waved to the audience and blew kisses. I mean, Draymond, you went 1 for 2 from the line.
He made 1 basket or 2 baskets, hit a layup, and then went,
Yeah, I love it. I love it. He just lives to antagonize. I love it.
Well, and that's part of what some teams do. I mean, when he was when he's playing with Golden State, they need that person. And sometimes I wish the Celtics had that person that was antagonizing people. I've said many times before, I said, I would love Jason Tatum one time when somebody, hit him or knocked him down hard to jump up and say, if you do that F again, then, there's going to be a problem. So, but I haven't seen that.
No.
And this team doesn't play that way. But sometimes I think that is part of the game, that you have to, intimidate people or just respond when they come at you in kind.
So Tatum, I don't know if he was asked directly about that, but he addressed it the other day when he said, yeah, people, for years have wanted me to be more aggressive or be more demonstrative. And he said, I'm going to do what the F I'm going to do. And I'm just, I believe he said Jason is going to, be what he wants to be. So, any wish that you or I might have for him to, kind of show that, Max, he seems pretty dead set. And he's like, no, I'm not going to change the way I feel or, act out or act more aggressive. It's just not in me.
Well, if that's not him as a player, then you can't fake it. You can't fake being a tough guy. That's not going to work. But, here's the results. At the end of the day, Jason Tatum has won a championship playing the way Jason Tatum has. Is he going to have a mandate on the league this year? Because so many people talked about him. I think he could have an MVP year. But if he's not like that, you're not going to force a guy to be like that. And so I think that, as much as I hope, much as I wish, if he's not like that, then that's not who he is.
I might go to the game tonight with my son. I'd come by and say hello, but I would be very uncomfortable around your partner because I make fun of him all the time.
Be my guest to come down.
No, I don't have the balls.
I don't.
Behind the microphone, I'm very tough. I don't like to meet the people I make fun of. It's very
wow. There's the guy down in Charlotte right now, still waiting for you.
Well, listen,
whose fault is that, Max?
I mean, who's boy? Rick must be really mad at you. He had to pick up his phone 4 times.
Yeah, Fred has a new home phone number. Would you like to give that out to your guy down in Charlotte?
Well, look, I did not know what was going on, guys. The guy just told me, "Hey, do you have that guy's number?" And I was like, "What?" He said, "Yeah, give me his number." And then I found out later on that there was a big challenge match that was happening, and 2 guys were showing the side of their wood, who had the biggest wood, and I did not know that was happening.
There was only one guy who was doing that.
Yeah,
it wasn't the
me.
guy sitting here. It was the guy down there.
I actually didn't do anything this time. I really didn't.
No.
Like he lost his mind. It was
Yeah.
this guy in Raleigh or Charlotte or something that he got real mad at me for like some innocuous. I don't even. Oh, I hung up on the hillbilly
the
guy.
Carolina Hurricanes. Right?
Yeah, and he defended the South on his show, and got very angry at me. And I didn't know who he was. And then I said, I made fun of him, and then briefly,
I was
and he
out
went
to dinner
crazy.
with my wife and a friend.
Yeah, he goes.
that was a whole
okay,
thing.
so Cedric, if you heard someone say they're telling a story, they're relating a story about how they heard that someone was making fun of them, and they go, "I was out to dinner with my wife and a friend." If you heard that and were playing that on the air, what would you insinuate was happening?
You know what? I think I would just kind of think it was a joke.
No, it's a cuckold situation, of course, is what you would insinuate. A devil's 3-way, if you would.
A devil's 3-way?
That's 2 men. It's a devil's 3-way is what you're thinking. You're thinking the same thing as me.
That's not gonna make you're not gonna bait me again and make me act Mrs. Wallach. You're not gonna do that again.
Right.
No,
You're a devil's 3-way, and your brain went right to Mrs. Wallach.
Don't play innocent now. You tried to get us to give you the punchline for a racist joke earlier.
Yeah.
We're not playing this game with you.
You'll be okay. You'll be all right.
Sure.
It wouldn't go national. I mean,
no.
Look. If the president of the United States can do that kind of stuff, God forbid we can't do a little bit on radio.
I'll tell you what, he can get away with way. I've thought about it many times, and for good or bad, he can get away with way more than I can. 1,000 times more than I can. Yeah. If I said what J.D. Vance said about like pregnant women, do you know the hell I'd be put through off the air?
Sure.
This is. Look. It hasn't trickled down yet to us. When can we be racist again?
You know what? Here's the thing I think is crazy about all this is that it just seems like it's turned into a extremely conservative society, and that you can't do anything, say anything unless you're on the opposition. When Donald Trump won the election, he did win it fair and square this year. He had a more popular vote. And it was a mandate from the people. Mm-hmm. And I am not a Trump supporter. Make sure I say that. I am not. But when he won this time fair and square. Only thing I would hope that, you can win in a gracious manner and not rub it in on the rest of us.
Good luck.
Right. Well, listen, it's much easier to be a good winner than someone who's transferring power. There's no question about it.
And it's good news for you, Max, and all the other Barry Manilow fans out there that this country is leaning more conservative. Some nice middle-of-the-road music, very inoffensive, should appeal to everybody.
Okay. Here's the thing. Here's the thing before I go, I want to ask you guys. Do you think this is the last professional team? The Celtics are going down to the White House probably here in the next couple of weeks. Do you think this is the last professional team you'll be in the White House for the next 4 years?
No, because I think that because Trump won so decidedly that it's the second time that it's not as hot a thing. Like, right? I guess if there's like a lot of controversies and stuff.
Yeah.
But this time around seems like you said, there's no controversy. Like the people have spoken. It's a democracy. Like it or not, I mean, it is what it is. So, no, I don't think that this is the last time.
No, so you think that if the Celtics won, the championship next year, they would go to the White House.
Not the Celtics necessarily, but like what the next team would be what the
what team?
What
team?
The Super Bowl.
It would be the Super Bowl team.
So do you believe Kansas City would go if they won?
Well, they would, but it would still be Biden. But they
no,
February. It would
be February.
All right.
They would be on Trump's watch.
All right.
That's why I'm asking you guys now.
Yeah.
Do you think this is the last team that's possibly going to be going down for a while? Because I can't see an NBA team, WNBA team, maybe Major League Baseball, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe
Hockey?
the team would go. That's very interesting, Cedric. It's very interesting.
It's a good question.
Because maybe the team would go, but certainly like Jaylen Brown wouldn't go. Yeah, Missoula probably wouldn't go.
Last time you'd have full attendance, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, interesting. That's very interesting. Keep an eye on that. Yeah.
Thank you. I was thinking that. I said I was going to ask you guys that because I've been thinking about that. When the Celtics go this time and Biden is there, now Trump takes over for the next 4 years. Is there going to be any NBA team or any WNBA team that goes to the White House?
It also depends on what I think what you were saying, Fred, is what happens in the White House and what happens specifically with Trump. What does he say or do in the months leading up to when the visit is supposed to take place? If things are relatively quiet, yeah, I think an NFL team
what are the odds of that?
might go. Yeah.
What are the odds of things being quiet?
I don't know. I don't know.
True.
I don't know.
Just
John,
take a look at his first term.
That's for you. You read Doonesbury and you get back to us.
Yeah.
All right. Listen.
Bruins beat Calgary in overtime at TD Garden last night, 4-3. Brad Marchand.
and it's here right now. So let's take a stand with the LA Lakers, and we're here to say that the drugs are killing every day. Cocaine and crack, it's all got to go.
Yeah, we are Toucher and Hardy. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, maybe the smartest athlete of all time. But he cannot rap. As this sounds like S.A. Martinez from 311, this is the same cadence in which he raps. We are brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. So Adam was at a charity event, which he talked about in the 6 o'clock hour. And should feel free. He fumbled the ball not talking about it before it.
I did. I'm still the new guy, but yes,
it's very new to radio.
Event, at the Sinclair last night for Tech Tackles Cancer. Look
Very
them up.
good.
Great organization.
Fantastic. And as you were leaving, Adam, was it back in the day, you would get flyered.
Yes.
And it's a very effective way of reaching people, obviously, because we're going to talk about it. What was left on your car?
It was a pamphlet. Well, at first I thought it was a parking ticket, and I said, no, I paid my meter. And as I got closer, I saw it was not. I said, is it one of those wonderful religious tracts that have been around? But no, it is a booklet, not even a pamphlet, but a booklet that I handed to Hardy to sift through, and it is all about the dangers of using drugs.
All right.
Marijuana specifically.
Right, and if there is one danger in society, it is the use of marijuana. Of all the problems that they're having, I would say fentanyl, number one, in terms of drugs, is that it's cut into every drug now and could kill you. The chances of marijuana killing you are almost zero, unless you're high and doing something that makes you die. But just inhaling it and sitting there is not going to kill you.
No.
Unlike fentanyl, where you could just be sitting there and think you're doing coke, and then next thing you know, you're dead. Having done nothing else. So you didn't walk out of a window or anything or crash your car. You just died from the drugs making your heart stop. But what do they have to say about weed? So I like that you took it with you. That's good instinct.
It's as soon as I saw it, I'm like, segment for tomorrow.
And I'm a little sick of smelling it everywhere, but that's just me. Some people enjoy the smell.
I don't enjoy the smell of it.
Yeah, like it's just like a lot. It just almost seems insistent. Like, woo, I'm smoking weed. And I would think with vapes, because vapes don't smell. So I'm wondering what the hell's going on.
Pearl Jam show over the summer. I think we talked about this, but I mean,
it's legal now.
Ridiculous.
So it's legal now. So everyone's feeling.
Oh, they address the legality of marijuana in this pamphlet, Fred. Oh, yes, they do.
Marijuana cigarettes.
That's right.
I prefer my kids don't smoke weed, but here we go.
The truth about marijuana. What you may not know, so much of what you hear about drugs actually comes from those selling them. Former drug dealers have said they would tell people anything to get them to buy drugs.
Well, I find that difficult to believe. Usually they're pretty on the level. And plus, drug dealers are often great salesmen because that's the number one priority. They have to get people to buy the product. No. There's plenty of demand. I would imagine supply is your friend. I would imagine your phone or your pager back in the day was going off way more than you wanted it to go off.
Marijuana is one of the most abused drugs in the world. There's an ever-growing gap between the latest science about the myths surrounding it. Some people think that since it's legal, it must be safe. But your body doesn't know a legal drug from an illegal drug.
What are they saying are the dangers? Because I'll tell you what I've told my kids. And I'll tell you, you tell me if you think this is a good.
The mental consequences of marijuana use are severe. Marijuana smokers have poorer memories and mental aptitude than do non-users, and recent studies on young adults that smoke marijuana found abnormalities in the brain related to emotion, motivation, and decision-making.
Well, this is young people.
Yeah.
Is it when does the adults get kicked in?
I'm curious to know what you've been telling
All
your
right.
kids, because I've certainly talked to mine about it.
Okay, I told my kids this. I said that if you smoke weed, the danger is you're going to become very boring. Is that what honestly could happen is that you become infatuated with smoking weed, and that becomes what you do.
It becomes your personality.
And it becomes your personality, and then you start. So what it does is it can make you boring, and I've seen it happen to a bunch of people. And then, you get ingratiated, you get ingrained in this pot culture. Now, certainly it's not going to happen to everyone, but it's far more likely than you dying, smoking weed. Like the problem is that it's happened to a bunch of my friends in high school and in college.
Same.
You just become like a total pothead, and you end up just sitting around getting high all the time, and you stop trying to achieve anything, and then that makes you just an average, boring person.
Fred's less worried about the effects on the young brain from marijuana, and more worried that his kid would smoke and end up in the pot culture and be following fish around the country.
I think that is. I think that's a real concern.
Seriously, like
That's
Fred
accurate.
would be like so sad.
Well, I don't think that me going, you know what didn't work with me is reefer madness. Like telling you that you're going to go insane or you're going to die or you're going to become a heroin addict. That's all, because that's all probably not going to happen.
Right.
What could very well happen is the next thing you know, your kid's a pothead and they're sitting around asking you to send them to Wesleyan. And you got to, fork over the bill for that so they can be a ancient studies major and get a master's, and now you're out $400,000, and then they go out and work at Borders or whatever the equivalent is now.
I got to tell you, there is some pretty informative stuff in here, not just the various names of marijuana.
A marijuana cigarette is referred to as reefer, stick, roach, joint. The drug itself is referred to as pot, tea, boo, stuff.
Yeah.
But they mention dabbing. Do you know what dabbing is?
Yeah, it's when you get the crystals and then it's like super potent.
THC extracted into an oil can be evaporated in sticky gore wax. What about mooking?
That's when Mookie Betts shows up.
No.
Mookie Blaylock?
Mookie Wilson?
Ooh. Smoking tobacco and marijuana together in the bowl of a pipe is known as mooking.
Why would you do that? Why would you smoke tobacco and weed in a pipe?
Thing. That sounds like a made. They
Well,
need
it
to fill
sounds
out a
better.
couple pages in the.
If you cut it with tobacco, that's probably better for you.
And if you watch the movie The Gentleman, that's what the guy prefers, a little 50-50 mix. He kind of rolls
so it is a thing.
some
Yeah.
out of a cigarette, and he puts a little marijuana in there, and that is a thing I've never heard
So
of.
he wants to get less high.
Mooking before.
That's like, what do you do? Well, I take my wine and I pour a bunch of water into it because I don't want to. That's what sangria is. Cut wine.
Yeah.
I never understood sangria.
Delicious fruit flavors.
Yeah, like I want. Can you give me wine, but don't make it as alcoholic? I want it less
and
alcoholic.
Make it even sweeter, so my hangover will be way worse.
Yeah, can you give me way worse hangover without nearly the fun? Thank you very much. But there you go. I've given you some parenting advice. I think that you guys take that.
Thank you for the pamphlet, Adam.
And
I'm just going to leave this on the kitchen counter when I get home.
Yeah, you know.
Let the kids look at
Let
it.
the kids page through it. Maybe they'll learn something.
Because unlike Fred, I don't speak to my children.
Knowledge is
about
power.
drugs. No.
I'm just letting it out there that I'm, in case something happens, people know that I was a good parent. Like this song becomes like cool.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I'm fading this song.
Well, you have a third degree misdemeanor charge for possession. Ooh. You better have a whole culture
in the
around it.
corner.
Yeah, there you go. Jim Irsay.
If you're on Molly.
Man, if you're on Molly, if your dad was super mean to you, but left you cool stuff. All right, we'll be back. We'll go around the NFL, and Kendra Middleton will be in here to add her betting expertise as we continue on the show.
You're listening to Touch. Patriots
Into the end zone.
play here.
Touchdown for the Patriots. Score.
WBZ FM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins blew a 3-1 third period lead, but Brad Marchand saved the evening with his franchise record 21st career overtime goal. He handed the Bruins a 4-3 win over Calgary at TD Garden. Jim Montgomery also loved the assist from Elias Lindholm on the game winner.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, we always talk about, especially when we get to 3-on-3, but into our puck pressure really determines getting opportunities to score, and that was a great example of it. I thought his checking skill is stick, and then, escaping and then getting it to Marshy right away. Big time play.
Bruins are back at 500 for the season. They face Linus Ullmark and the Ottawa Senators at the Garden tomorrow night. Celtics had last night off. They're back at work this evening at the Garden against Brooklyn. Jaylen Brown still out for the Green. Luke Cornett doubtful with right hamstring tightness. Randy and Max have the pregame at 7 and the tip-off at 7:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots are without Kyle Duggar and Christian Ellis again at practice yesterday. They're in Chicago on Sunday. And other NFL news, Baltimore got 4 touchdown passes from Lamar Jackson. They held off Cincinnati 35-34. And according to the MLB Network, the Red Sox and Baltimore are among the teams interested in signing free agent outfielder and World Series champion Teoscar Hernandez. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by VA New England. If you or a family member served our country honorably for 2 years or more, they may be eligible for benefits from VA New England. Go to va.gov or call 1-800-MY-VA-411. I'm John Wallach of Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
New England plays here.
Ball down the right side. There's a separation. Yeah. Touchdown pass. Yes. Perfect dive from Drake May.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Fred.
Ignore the guy swinging a sword in the background.
Hardy.
Oh, haha, dodge, turn, parry, spin, thrust.
Toucher and Hardy. 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Around the NFL with Toucher and Hardy.
They are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Hey, we are Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. And those on YouTube, Kendra Middleton is here, and you can see us on YouTube by searching 98.5 The Sports Hub on YouTube. You can do that. Kendra Middleton, of course, everyone loves. And we were just talking about dabbing.
Yeah.
Dabbing. Do you dab, Kendra? Do you dab?
Are you talking about like a weed dab?
Yeah.
I am no stranger to a Benjamin, but I like a pen, but I don't hit like a dab rig. No, I'm
Marijuana cigarettes.
Flower galley. Although I can't believe you guys didn't know what a spliff was.
I know what a spliff was, but that's not what he said.
I know, but okay.
No. I know what a spliff was, but he called it a mookie. Have you ever heard it referred to as a mookie?
No, it was a...
I don't think that's right.
A moofy?
Mooking.
Mooking. The act of
mooking.
smoking one is
Mooking. He called it mooking.
Yeah,
I've never heard of mooking.
It's the whole act of preparing the 50-50
No,
mix.
I know what a blunt is. Like I mean, our generation invented the blunt.
I was gonna say you guys grew up, rolling your own cigarettes.
Yeah, on the prairie.
Yeah.
It was a whole situation.
A lot of stuff in it. What is vaping?
That's right. Like, how would we know about any of this, Kendra? Hardy and I are very inexperienced in the world of narcotics.
Yeah.
Actually, I kind of am.
What?
I've never bought drugs from a drug dealer where drugs were given to me.
So you never got to go look at the collection of swords and.
I've been there.
Because that is the cliche that 100% holds true.
Your drug dealers had swords?
So many swords, so many like really nice action figures. A lot of.
Mine always just had guns on the table.
Oh no.
Different area of the country.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably a different area of the country.
Sorry, Mom.
Yeah, it's a much different area of the country.
Nunchucks, though.
That's the move.
A Midwestern pot dealer had a whole situation, but
throwing stars
in iguana,
which are always effective. The throwing stars.
Yeah.
Well,
everyone uses them.
Matt, the kid I know that was on Teens in Crisis. He was the kid that I told you had the somehow came across a bow. What is that bow?
A crossbow.
Crossbow, and he lived in his parents' house, and he had a bedroom, and there was a crossbow arrow just in the wall. Like he had
That's
like a real full-on crossbow.
Yeah.
And he was a lunatic. He was like a kid with with the BB gun that would shoot it at you, like at close range, like it was funny. And you'd be like, Matt, this isn't funny.
Why punch holes in the wall when you can shoot an arrow through it?
Exactly. Well, wouldn't your parents, like if I came into my son's room and I'd say, how is there an arrow halfway through the wall? And he went, I don't know. I'd go, all right, well, let's investigate. And then if I found the crossbow, I'd say, well, this isn't a weapon of murder. Like this is something that you could be screwing around with and like literally murder one of your friends.
Kill somebody, yeah.
And I have a feeling I'm not getting off so light if that happens in my home, let alone the death of a kid.
Yeah.
There's a lot on my hands.
I don't know
at
if your
that point.
homeowners covers that.
I'm going to guess I'd be in some hot water as well
probably.
for letting that happen under
Or
my
just
roof.
like letting your kid have that, I guess.
Yes.
Is there an age limit? Can you buy a crossbow?
I don't know what the crossbow
Good
laws
question.
are, but they are.
Yeah.
Once again, I think state to state is different.
Get
Yeah.
Matt Light on the phone.
Where you grew up at the age of consent is like
Ohio.
11.
Well, I know my nephew has a bow, and
There you
he's
go. How old is he?
8.
A crossbow or a bow and arrow?
He has a bow. Well, he has a bow and arrow, but he also has a shotgun.
At 8.
Yeah.
But it's his?
He killed his first deer at like 5. My niece killed her first deer at 8.
That's not uncommon. But
Or
they
his turkey at 7.
do they have access to the guns?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, no, they're in a safe. But
all
like,
right. But do they have access to the safe?
No, but like
Okay.
they travel to like
right,
hunt.
right. No, I understand.
Which is nuts.
That's not.
Can we get some banjo music, 12?
That's not so crazy.
Crossbows are legal in Massachusetts, but you need a permit, and only people who are permanently disabled and cannot use a conventional bow and arrow are eligible for a crossbow permit.
That seems unchill. How can you discriminate against?
Because there are laws in this region of the world?
Yeah, but like just because you're disabled, you can't own a crossbow.
no,
That's
it's
not
because
fair.
you can only own one if you're disabled. Is what the law is.
Oh, well then
If you
hell yeah,
cannot-
brother.
If you can, I was wondering where you're going. If you cannot operate a manual bow and arrow, then you are allowed a crossbow license, so you can participate in archery.
I'm in.
You can possess one, but you need to be disabled with a note from a doctor to get a license to hunt with one.
Imagine going to your doctor and being like, "Yeah, I need a prescription for a crossbow."
I got a prescription, man, and it can only. I got an itch that can only. One thing you can prescribe.
Crossbow.
That's a goddamn crossbow. Put that on your doc. Put that on your.
I want
damn
to shoot an
head.
arrow with a trigger. Hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. I can't pull that thing back no more, Doc. I got to get my fix. Yeah, Dumas had whoops.
Wait.
had crossbow, had throwing stars and everything else.
Well, Mark Harper got the full ninja, collector's kit for Christmas one year, and I went over to his house the day after Christmas, and he jumped out of a tree wearing his ninja suit, and then he started showing me the throwing stars, and we went in the backyard and tried to get one to stick in a tree, and we tried for about 20 minutes and couldn't do it, and we
Always effective, the
never
throwing
saw him.
stars.
I have
Always.
one more question. If you're disabled and you're in a wheelchair, how do you go hunting? Like, how do you get up in the stand?
I think
How
it's
are
more
you-
of an archery
Do
situation.
you have to camouflage your wheelchair?
That's why they paved the
Well, I would
forest.
imagine you would be like anything else. You would camouflage everything.
I wonder if that's
I mean,
a business.
If you can shoot from a helicopter, I have a friend who shot a bunch of boar from a helicopter. He's all proud of it. He took a machine gun and blew away a bunch of boar in Texas.
And he was bragging about this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And he
that's
brags
great.
about how he has several AR-15s, which I think is funny.
But I find that
Because I
more-
don't know why you need several of them.
But I find that more sporting than just going deer hunting because that's a much tougher shot from a helicopter. So good for him for adding an element of danger into
Okay,
it.
let me
the ass of waking up early and going out and camping. And all
let me take that idea out of your head. So you get to a private land where they stock it with boar.
Oh, all right.
Then they give you a machine gun.
Yeah.
And then you get an automatic weapon, a machine gun.
Yeah.
That you just pull the trigger and several bullets come out.
Okay, but
then you fly in the air.
That's the tough part.
No, and then you fly over where an unwooded area where there's boar running around, and you just maul as many as you can.
Well, if they're in the woods, it would be impossible. I mean, that's too sporting.
No, you can't. You're not over the shrubbery. They're out there, and you got to wait for them to come out from the woods. But they go hee-haw.
Yeah, something for your 8-year-old nephew to try.
Gentlemen, I have great news.
Wow,
Let's
wow.
play a game.
Oh.
How much do you think an American flag crossbow right now on Amazon Prime is with a laser sight?
Money's no object.
Okay.
It's a good game.
This is a good game.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm guessing it's not cheap.
No,
this
no.
is like legit, Kendra. This is not like a toy.
Yeah, who's
This is
who's the
legit.
manufacturer?
I'm not going to tell you because I feel like that will help you, but I can send you the link after if you would like to look at it.
You're not going to tell us the brand name?
It's a brand that we know.
Remington?
It is Cypress Outdoors.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why
Yeah.
that would do anything for us.
Okay.
'Cause it's an actual brand.
Okay, I
Where's
didn't
the
know
American? Where's the American flag?
On the
stock.
On the stock, and it is on the part of the bow that like pulls back.
Okay.
Oh, that's gonna be pricey.
$4.99.
I was in the $400 range,
No.
but just to be sporting, I'm gonna go $5.99.
$4.99.
You can buy a handgun for $140. I'm going to say that is $110.
Okay.
$199.99.
Yes, thank you, Tennessee. Thank you, East Tennessee, where my parents live, and you can buy handguns at Walmart. It's a lot of fun, and I like to hold them.
You can buy guns and alcohol in Wisconsin in the same place, and ammo.
Do you go and try and hold the guns?
Yeah, I've been there on the wall.
I like to waste everyone's time and hold the guns, and then I leave. Mike, go ahead.
Get your fingerprints all over them.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
full. I mean, come on.
You guys are talking about crossbows. Do you remember about 25, maybe 30 years ago, guy out in Southbridge shot his paper boy with a crossbow?
Of course I remember.
No,
I don't remember that.
I don't remember that at all.
It's a great story. Guy worked for me. I'm shaving. I'm getting ready to go to the office. It's an hour drive. I'm listening to the radio. I hear the news. Southbridge man shoots paperboy with crossbow. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I know the town. That's where my business was. I'm shaking my head. I'm like, Jesus H on a popsicle stick. I get to the office. Plant manager comes up in my office. He says, did you hear the news? I said, no, what? He said, Ray, his brother now, this is the plant manager's brother. He said, Ray shot his paperboy with a crossbow. I almost fell over.
Why? Did he tell you why?
Yeah, the paper was late.
Right.
It was the evening paper. Ray was on his front porch. Now Ray was a little, not all there, and he had the crossbow and he was fiddling with it. The paper boy showed up. He pulled up on him, aimed at him to scare him. The kid screamed and he pulled the trigger.
Yeah, that's why crossbows are a bad idea, and why I thought it was bad that Matt had him in his room.
The good news is you only winged him. You got him in the shoulder. But
did he go to jail? That's interesting. Did he end up going to jail?
He disappeared. I said to Dick, I said to the guy that was managing the plant, I said, okay, he's, get him out. I don't, this is a problem, and never did I hear another word about it. I think he moved away to try to avoid prosecution. I can't remember. Maybe somebody else will call him with the details.
Or Ray himself. Ray, if you're listening, call in.
Yeah, admit to your crimes. Turn yourself in. It's about time. It's been hanging over your head for too long. The winged thing.
The winged paper boy.
Well, therein lies the problem with playing around with weapons, which was my ultimate point. Was if I came into I'm always fascinated with Matt's parents in that they just let that go untalked about. It might have been in there for a year.
Right, because we've all done something to scare the paper boy. But, wielding a crossbow at him, that's where you cross the line.
Well, it's the death of the newspaper industry. I mean, there used to be the Free Press in the morning, the Detroit News at night, and then when the night paper came, that's when you'd been liquored up a little bit. You give them a little scare.
I deliver the Oakland Press on my bike.
Oh, Pat Caputo, yeah.
Yeah.
You let out a little flash grenade, you get them off your property.
You can buy guns on Amazon.
Not to be delivered here. If you want anything fun to be delivered from Amazon, you guys get it delivered to your
You can
parents'
get a
house.
Glock for $330.
And you can get that delivered to Tennessee. Oh, my God. Because the big weapon that I have was delivered to Tennessee. Man. The big electric stick that I got.
Oh yeah, the boomstick. Yeah,
I
remember
baby.
the boomstick. Sure.
Yeah, I got that boom. You know who doesn't like that? My kids. They don't trust Daddy with the boomstick. Now, no one's ever been touched with the boomstick or threatened with the boomstick, but they
it's just there.
for some reason don't like me holding the boomstick.
My kids don't like my electric fly swatter or my Red Ryder BB gun. I'll pull that BB gun out, and they're like, "Daddy, no!"
Yeah, what's the deal with that? Like, I've never.
My boomstick.
That's good. All right, listen. We have not had time to even get to the football because we've been so stuck in our love of weapons. But Kendra is here, and we will go over the NFL as a big weekend. A big weekend, as we talked about with Burt Breer, the AFC is wide open. Not so much for the Patriots, but it's wide open. There's two wild card slots that are way up for grabs. We'll be talking about that just in a moment. Someone get HR. Adam, oppose taste. Kendra's being inappropriate.
I'll get right on that.
All right. Here's the deal.
12's on my side.
Oh,
We're
yeah.
farmers market friends.
About. I'm not in that room.
Farmers market friends got to stay strong. It's Friday.
I mean, that's true.
You don't have jeans on. Are you going to let your hair go gray and just let it be gray?
Yeah.
I won't be alive when it happens, but if I was, I would collect my money. I can guarantee you that's not going to happen. Dave, go ahead. Dave. All right. Hey, what's up?
So, yeah, Fred, can you hear me?
I can hear you, baby.
Yeah, so you said sangria is just watered down wine. That is totally not the case. It almost always has at least brandy in it, and a lot of times rum and other hard spirits. I've seen wine drinkers get completely trashed off of sangria, not realizing how strong it is because it's so sweet. So
I can understand that.
that.
I understand that, and I understand that does happen. But more often than not, you'll have to agree it's a brunch situation, a female-dominated brunch situation where it is literally wine with fruit juice in it.
I guess it depends on where you go. But
Disagree.
I don't view it as a brunch situation. I view it as people after work drinking it, and it is usually, I mean, if you go into a good place, it has more strength than most people realize.
All right. Well,
I'm on the team of the caller. As a girl who brunches, mimosas for brunch.
All right. I get that, but you're not going to get drunk on mimosas unless you're really hungover and you still have alcohol in your system.
Speak for yourself.
He's right. According to Google, sangria is red wine, brandy, triple sec.
What gets you the drunkest is the fruit because it soaks up all the alcohol, and you eat that afterwards. That's lethal.
But it's never good fortune to try to make an alcoholic watermelon because it's impossible. It just ends up being gross mush.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you can't you pour vodka in that thing thinking you're going to have a party, and the next thing you know, you wasted the vodka. All right, let's go.
All right. Let's start with the opponent for the Patriots this weekend, the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. Frustrated.
Obviously, it's not in a place where we would like it. Both of us, it's frustrating.
Talking about him and DJ Moore.
Because you got a guy so special, and not being able to connect and hit on certain passes is frustrating for myself. And I know it's frustrating for him because as a wide receiver especially, you only get but so many chances, so many times the ball comes your way in a game.
Kendra, what is the Rookie of the Year situation now? Is it Jaden Daniels and everyone else? Is it foolish to bet on anyone for Rookie of the Year right now besides Jaden Daniels?
I can pull up the exact odds for you, but Jaden Daniels is obviously leading the charge. I think it depends if you want to try and shop some value or not. Let me look these up.
Jaden Daniels, top 5 MVP votes for some people.
Yeah, I think that Jaden Daniels is, if he stays healthy, I think that things kind of shifted a little bit last week with that question mark of an injury, but it's pretty much Jaden Daniels from here. You could have probably argued Malik Neighbors before his injury. If Bo Nix really turns things around, because the Denver Broncos have a top 5 defense, you could maybe argue for Bo Nix if he really, really, really works it the rest of the year, but I think that it's really just Jaden and that's it.
Yeah, because Chicago, obviously, going into the season, you felt that was going to be a much more ready offense. So Caleb Williams disappointing some people. And Caleb Williams, a lot of people saying Drake May has surpassed.
I was just going to ask, if you, right now, we don't know what they're going to be next year, right now, which quarterback would you rather have?
Okay, if I was going into Sunday's game, I'd rather have Drake May.
I agree.
Yeah, so it's
Drake May's been better recently.
Yeah, I would rather have Drake than Caleb, but the thing is that both of them are in such a bad coaching situation.
But I'll give Drake May the edge because of the lack of talent around him. Like the Bears are a much more talented offense.
Bears are loaded offensively.
Yeah.
He has
should
receivers.
be much better than this.
Right. Now, I wouldn't bet money that Drake May has a better career than Caleb Williams.
No, but right now, knowing what you know.
On Sunday, I would have Drake May start.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much Jaden, and then Caleb after that, and then Bo Nix, and then Drake May.
Because I'll tell you this, I'd have, if you asked me who I'd start on Sunday, I'd say Jaden Daniels, Drake May, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams.
I would agree with that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Because, and Bo Nix, by the way, I think his ceiling is very, very low. His floor is high and his ceiling is very low. Now, listen, he's not as bad as Mac Jones. He's got physical traits.
No, but the career arc is very similar, at least at the
Mac
start
Jones
of his
starting
career.
this week.
Yeah,
Oh, good luck with your team.
Yeah, it's
good
gonna
luck.
be
Good
fun.
luck. Your Jaguars get Mac.
Well, thank
good
you
for you.
thank you for Trevor Lawrence. He's sitting this one out to stick it to the coaching. So shout out T-Law.
Okay, what's going on? I don't know about that.
So basically, Trevor Lawrence is dealing with an injury, and the report is that he's contemplating his future and basically sitting out as a protest to the coaching. That is the word on the street.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, as a
Doug
Jacksonville
Peterson
fan,
will have his job.
That's like
I love
DEFCON
it.
5.
I love it. Get him out. See ya. If anybody has a say in that room, it's Trevor Lawrence. That being said, I do have the Vikings defense on some pretty good odds for a defensive touchdown this week. So
Okay, against Mac Jones and the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah.
plus 425, baby.
Oh my God,
bold.
it's got pick 6 written all
Hey,
over it.
plus 425.
Yeah, I love
I
that.
got to put money. That's actually a great bet.
Look that up. I like
That's
that.
a fun bet too. That's a fun bet because you won't watch the game, but like when you see highlights and then you see a pick six, you go, "There he goes."
No, hate
There goes
betting's
little Mackie.
perfect in this case. Oh, sure.
Meanwhile, the Vikings head coach Kevin O'Connell is out there encouraging opposing quarterbacks, at least after the games. Here's him talking with Anthony Richardson.
Do me a favor, remember something.
Okay.
You're a bad dude.
Yes, sir.
And you're going to play a long time in this league.
For sure.
All right? Go to work every day. Good things will happen for you. I still believe in you. I know these guys too. Shane does too.
Yes, sir.
And this organization loves you. Go to
Yes,
work.
sir. Appreciate
okay?
that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, always, sir. All love. man.
Appreciate it.
That's nice. Nice
Yeah,
moment.
because
Very
he wants
nice.
to fool him into thinking he's got a future so he can take Indianapolis off the board. By the way, Kendra is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook.
Thank you.
There you go, Adam.
All right, let's go to some commentary on the Cowboys. We've been talking a lot about Jerry Jones this week. Not as much about Dak Prescott. Here's James Jones, former receiver, Fox analyst now, talking about Dak Prescott.
My man quitting on these dudes. I've had a hamstring plenty of times, and I'm back the next week. It don't take no 4 weeks for you to heal from no hamstring. You're not Lamar Jackson. You're not running 4 weeks. Basically, put me on ice for 4 weeks, right? No fight, no nothing. Hey, man, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll be back in a week. This is a hamstring. Dak is quitting on these boys.
That's going to be bad. He just got himself, as you can all attest, former player challenging another player's toughness, talking about faking an injury. He either goes Kendrick Perkins, take him to the top, or he's off the TV. Because I got news for you. You just went after the quarterback, a popular quarterback in the league for the Dallas Cowboys.
Popular.
With the players. With the players.
Yeah,
Oh, come on. Dak Prescott,
I'll give you that.
African-American
I
quarterback
wouldn't
for the
say-
Dallas Cowboys.
I wouldn't say popular amongst fans.
No. I don't care about the fans. The players. If you're challenging Dak Prescott, you don't think he's popular around the league?
Which McCourty was that?
No, that
That's
was not
James
McCourty.
Jones.
That's the guy, James
Oh,
Jones.
okay.
No, the McCourtys are too savvy to do that.
I thought that was. It sounded like a McCourty.
No, it's James Jones. James Jones.
Yeah, so he's trying to make a name for himself, but that is very, 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 very.
I'm sorry, I put
tenuous.
that on the McCourties.
Well, they listen, so you know you're in deep
Constantly.
yoga. It's so awful announcing will put something about me saying it. Go ahead.
I'm wondering what the betting. Well, why not?
And if he kills himself, it's on you.
That's right.
You know, there's been articles written about you. Yeah.
What are the odds of the Eagles? Cooper Rush did real well 2 years ago when he filled in for Dak. I think he won 4 or 5 starts.
Well, Sirianni's such a terrible coach.
So
The spread's 7.5.
But do we bet Dallas to cover or not?
Personally, if I didn't get got betting on Dallas last week, I would go back to the well, but I just personally cannot. I can't get got by the Dallas Cowboys again. I really can't. But when Cooper Rush played last year, they went on that run, and Nick Sirianni is an idiot. He leaves more points on the board than any coach in the NFL right now.
All right, Jets at Cardinals this weekend. Here's Garrett Wilson talking about Aaron Rodgers and some of the pre-snap stuff.
Mike's a good guy. He'll be.
Excuse me. Here we go,
That's
Garrett.
Mike. Well,
Pre-snap stuff is the main thing, bro. Like, and I'm still working on this. I still miss plays in the game where we're trying to take advantage of a look, and it's just because, to be honest, like it's a lot. You got the cans, but then you got like not really a can. Him giving you like a signal. There's 100 of them. You kind of think more, and it might slow you down a little bit sometimes. But like, I caught myself like false starting and stuff. Like, there's been some things that I had to work through.
Garrett Wilson is on track to being a top 3 Jets player of all time in my book.
It's a great
in my
player.
lifetime.
It's a great player.
But he's being hindered by Aaron Rodgers overcomplicating things.
He's joining the likes of Mark Gastineau and Al Toon.
Whoa.
Very elite
You're
company.
putting him in the Altoon category? Toon is a god for you. Are you kidding me?
Toon is my favorite. Al Toon is my favorite football player of all
Wow.
time.
Al Toon, who would have been better than Jerry Rice if he had played for San Francisco.
Just a kid out of Wisconsin.
That's what Fred thinks.
Just a kid that went to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Kept his head down.
Who's your favorite NFL player of all time, Hardy?
Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Okay, good answer.
Barry
Wallach?
Sanders was the most fun to see.
My favorite player, you see, the problem is I love Stanley Morgan. We're going way back, but Stanley Morgan
not
was
that
my
far
guy.
back.
Stanley Morgan.
He was the number 1 overall pick, right?
No,
Or-
that was Irving Fryer.
That was Irving Fryer.
Yeah, that was Morgan was before him.
Oh, that's right. So it was a long time ago.
Yes. No.
When you were in your 20s.
To go way back, my
Go look him up, Ken.
My first favorite player was Billy Sims.
Oh, my dad was on an airplane with Billy Sims back when they flew commercial. Billy signed a napkin to Fred, and he said it was for me, but I don't think so. I think it was for Fred Toucher Jr.
Yeah.
I smell a rat.
You still have that? You still have that napkin?
Yeah, I have it everywhere.
Yeah.
Sure.
I wipe my ass with it.
and
Take
ye-
that, Dad.
And yes, Aaron Rodgers did talk about the Mike Williams trade.
Mike's a good guy. He'll be good in that locker room. Obviously, got a lot of great veteran leadership. He's had a nice career, and sometimes change of scenery is great
Yeah,
for.
sometimes I
great
talk
for
like
certain
that.
guys. And it was great for me. It was
Sometimes I
fun
do that
playing
with my
Avery and
voice.
Rick.
And sometimes I talk like that. If I was talking on the phone with someone and they were like, and then I go, all right, it was good talking to you. You're really bothering me with the way that you fluctuate your voice.
Very enthused and stuff, and we kind of knew with Devontae coming in that.
My friend said Joe Klecko, and here's the deal: is that I am even too young for Joe Klecko. Joe Klecko was a defensive lineman when I was a very young
It was
boy.
either him or it was either Stanley Morgan or Andre Tippett. Those are my two.
Well, Andre Tippett was the guy in the '85 Patriots that everyone knew. He was the guy.
Sackmaster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kendra,
Great defensive player.
Jets lane 1.5 at Arizona.
It's currently 2 on DraftKings.
Ooh.
So I think the Cardinals are the most difficult team to gamble on this year. They have been. I get that they're, fighting for their division, but the teams that they should beat, I feel like they lay down for at times, and the teams that they shouldn't beat, they wind up, kind of playing up to them. This is a really difficult spot for me because I think the Jets know that their season's over. I think it was Beetle who said that he's predicting Aaron Rodgers to start faking an injury at some point just so that he can, go quietly into the good night. So I am expecting that at some point. I just feel like this is going to be a game, even though it's at home, where Arizona beats themselves.
Okay, because if the Jets win this game, they're very, very much in the playoff picture.
Are they though?
Yes, because they're a game out.
Those last 2 wild card
But
spots.
I
are
know,
up
but
for grabs.
I get that the AFC sucks, and I don't know what the percentage is this week, but I think it was like 34% of AFC teams had 3 wins last week.
Yeah. There
So-
are 9 teams in the NFL with 2 wins.
Right,
at this
because
point.
let's just say Buffalo, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Houston, and Kansas City all make the playoffs. That leaves 3 spots.
Yeah, you
for
sold
the
on
Jets.
Denver holding one of those
Yeah,
down?
well, listen, Jets, Cincinnati, Indianapolis, Los Angeles, and Denver. I mean, those are the teams
It's
for
the
those 2
Chargers
spots.
for me. Their
Sure,
defense has not
but-
let up more than 21 points all season long.
And I agree with you, but that still leaves one spot
Get
open.
rid of it. You can get rid of Indianapolis and Denver out of that equation. I don't think either of those 2 teams are going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that the Jets, if they really, well, I don't know, the Bengals.
Right. So I think it's the Bengals and the Jets.
Yeah, I think it's the Bengals and the Chargers for me.
Because the Jets, if the Jets win at Arizona, they have the bye, and then they only play one team with a winning record for the rest of the season.
Because you got to start thinking about coaching at that point in the year too. And the Jets don't really have the coaching, but the Broncos would have Sean Payton, and obviously the Harbaugh brothers are just incredible. So I think that that's what it was probably going to come down to.
Right. But Bo Nix is still the quarterback of that team, and you would have to think here's the deal. The Jets probably lose on Sunday, and I'm not kidding. But if they do win with the bye, as Bert said, with the bye and then going into the easiest part of their schedule, they don't have any primetime games anymore. They go into that part of the schedule. I mean, if they don't at least win 8 games, which doesn't make the playoffs, but if you win 8 and 9, they got to win 8 games. If they're 4 and 6, they got to win. They got to win 8 games.
I'll tell you what, if Aaron Rodgers nuts up and actually goes into the darkness during the bye and stays there like a man, I'll get back on the Jets.
You're giving him too much credit for his.
He left early. That's a coward move. Go and do it and come back.
Oh, he did leave early?
Yeah, he did. Coward.
Yeah. That's a man with too much
Make
money.
peace with the darkness, Aaron Rodgers. I want to see it.
Have you ever gone on a darkness retreat?
No, but I would. Just to prove Aaron Rodgers is a baby.
You wouldn't be scared.
No.
I'm scared of the dark.
Have you ever been in like that real dark where you can't even see your hand in front of your face? That's freaky.
Carlsbad Caverns, New Mexico. You go down there, it's total darkness. It is. There is no light.
That's right.
Why would you voluntarily go into a cave?
It's just.
Oh, it's really cool.
I'll tell you the story about the cave.
I mean, it's not like you had to crawl down there. They're massive. They're huge. It's one of the wonders of the world.
I
You
don't
go
like
down there, it's like, yeah, I mean, you're underground. It's massive. But when they turn the lights out, they're like, okay, you're going to experience total darkness. It's been measured. There is no natural light in here whatsoever. Cover up your, the glowing hands on your watch. There is no light. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. And holy crap, is it dark. You think you know dark until you experience total darkness.
I'll tell you this, is that you remember this, John. You might remember this. Years ago, I became fascinated with people getting trapped in caves because it seems like the dumbest thing to get into. Like these expeditions where they would go down like a mile. Yeah, like 2 miles into these caves.
Well, that's dumb.
So I'll tell you the story. Guy gets stuck. Professional cave guy gets stuck.
Is this an underwater cave or a regular cave?
There's water in all of them.
Okay.
When you get deep enough, I mean, the devil's poking you.
of course.
I mean, you're in past the magma. So you're in there, and the guy gets trapped in this crevice. So they go, oh my goodness, he's gonna die. What are we gonna do? They send guys down there. They go, I know what we'll do. We'll pulverize him. So we'll break all his bones so we can slide him out.
Yeah.
Oh.
So while he's sitting there alive, they break his legs and try to slide him out. They smash his legs apart and try to slide him out, but that won't do, and it doesn't work. So they just sit there and watch him die.
Okay, new fear unlocked. New fear unlocked. Not even the dying in a cave part, just them smashing my legs and then pulling me.
And so the people that are talking about the adventure are fellow spelunkers, and they're going, I don't know why he did this. Like, it's so dangerous. And there's that jumping out of a plane danger where there's that
I would do
moment.
that.
Right. Well, jumping out of plane danger, for like 30 seconds, a minute, you're going to die. And then you probably come to peace with it. Some DMT gets released in your brain or something. And you're at peace with it. Being stuck and being conscious for days without being able to move, and like it being days before help can get down, and them going, here's the plan. You'll go into shock, but we're going to break all your bones.
At some point, you say, can one of you guys crawl back up there and just get me all the drugs? I want to take all the drugs, and I want to go out on my own terms.
There was a time that would have been very controversial on the show.
God.
Yeah, I would say, kill me. Kill me in the most humane way. No. Morphine me out. Just put an IV of morphine in me and kill me.
How are they going to give you an IV if they can't even... No, shoot me.
Well, how'd you get it? You could get an IV back down.
Tranquilizer dart me. I don't care.
Well, it's the same thing as what I'm suggesting.
But they can shoot a
stick me to death.
Yeah, they can tranquilize
someone.
crossbow.
That's the beauty of it. Crossbow. Then it gets stuck in you. Crossbow. That's the beauty of the boomstick, is that you can't kill anyone. You shock them and they go, ah! They go, get away from here.
All right.
All right, make scram.
It's a home invasion. It's supposed to be a home invasion. It's supposed to give me everything, but fine.
Scram. You're in my bedroom. This is my personal space.
Hold on a second. That didn't even hurt that bad. Give it to me again. I dare you. Boom. Ah!
Oh, my goodness. What are you doing with that stick? There's no more holes to invade. Or is there? Use your imagination. All right, Kendra. Very good.
Good to see you, Kendra.
Kendra, how can people find you and consume your content?
I am on Instagram at Kendra Middleton. I'm on Twitter at Kenny with an I Middleton. I'm now on Blue Sky. I don't know what my username is, but probably some variation of that.
Okay. Did you see the video of my dog snoring from last night?
I did.
It's an ugly dog.
No, I don't think he's ugly.
He's so ugly, he's cute.
I just think he's nuts.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a situation.
Probably got bad allergies from being left outside all day.
That was what someone said.
You left your dog outside?
No, he'll leave the dog outside during the show.
What?
Yeah, outside on a nice day.
Are
I have a
you
fenced-in yard.
Yeah.
The dog would rather be outside than in a
4
crate.
hours, 5 hours outside alone.
That is so mean.
As opposed to being in the crate.
Why don't you just let it... He can't be in the house by himself?
No. He would freak out. No. Trainers have told me, outside or in the crate, like he'd get all anxious if he was out in the house.
Is he like terrorizing your neighbors though?
That I don't know.
No, just the pillows.
That is actually a legitimate point. If he was bothering my neighbors by barking,
That's yeah.
Because the cat will come downstairs. I get up in the morning, I let the dog outside, but he in and out, right? Like I leave the door open. Then I'll give him a bone and food outside and feed the cat. But the cat will come down, the dog will see the cat and start barking. But if I leave the house, he doesn't care anymore. So I leave the house and then he just stops. But that's the neighbors is a legitimate concern. The dog being outside is better than the dog being in the crate, in my logical view.
It's just terrorizing
You
the
had a
neighbors and
doggy
eating his
door.
own poop.
If you had a doggy
I'm not
door,
having a
dog
doggy
would
door
come right
because the
back
little
in.
people will invade.
We're very late. We gotta go.
All right,
Oh, sorry.
we'll be back. Bye. We'll be right back. Here are the headlines.
But make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Tudger and Hardy
That's what I want on my tombstone.
on the Sports Hub. We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Tudger and Hardy.
Hey, we're Toucher and Hardy, brought to you by FanDuel Sportsbook. Make every moment more with FanDuel. The Stack is brought to you by D'Angelo Grilled Sandwiches, freshly grilled, freakishly good. The D'Angelo Classic Steak and Cheese, savory steak, and melty American cheese, piled high on golden brown bread. Devour one today. All right, what's going on?
All right, time to find out what Adam 12 is going to be doing this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, delightful.
This is like
love this
thumbs in a
segment.
bum.
Which we will not forget on this Monday.
I'll make a note of that, but
Thank you
let's
very
get a
much.
little seasonal music going. All right.
All right.
I'm ready.
Looking for things for Adam 12 this weekend. Of course, the
Thinking about your next haircut.
There you go, Adam.
Head to any of the one.
The first thing you might think about is
thinking about your next haircut. Borrow some clippers from your neighbor. Do it yourself. It'll cost you nothing. That's something Adam 12 could do this weekend.
Is that something he's done in the past?
Do you cut
Oh,
your own
absolutely. I cut my own hair during the pandemic. But,
Oh, yeah.
But
so
now I
have
go to the barber again.
Yeah, so
Hardy and I both have barbers from Morocco.
hair? Oh,
Yeah.
Isn't
Different
that
guys.
fun?
Yeah. It's nice.
It's a great haircutting culture, I hear.
Adam 12.
Also, no driving laws in Morocco. Did you know that?
No, I didn't. That's fascinating.
And it's apparently anarchy. There's literally no driving laws in Morocco. I just had learned.
Oh,
Very interesting.
I'm
Huh?
talking to Abdo. I'm not going to Morocco.
I'll just know that that's where you went to get away from the British and their taxes and their heroin laws.
Ever look at a cool graphic tee and think I could make that? You can give it a whirl at Dark Mode's weekly screen printing night tonight. Guests can screen print their own t-shirts or hoodies while sipping wine and jamming out to tunes. You can bring your own garment or use the one provided.
There's no
Will
way
Adam
that's free.
12 at 10.
No.
Well, I'll.
There's no way
your
it's
own
free.
you probably bring your own T-shirt, and then
There's wine.
Yeah, that's true. They're not. They can't serve you for free. I still might. I might pony up.
$45.
Oh,
No,
That's
come on.
too highfalutin for my taste.
Let's
Thanks, though.
bankrupt the guy. That's a mortgage payment.
Sip your Saturday away on local.
Sorry, that's funny.
That's funny.
Sip your Saturday away on local cider. Crisp ciders, sours, and local bites. Cider Feast Boston returns for its third year in Southie. This is tomorrow at the Lithuanian Citizens Association. Lineup is loaded with ciders from around the region.
Okay, if it's non-alcoholic cider, it's free. if it's alcoholic cider, it costs money, and because it's at a Lithuanian clubhouse or whatever,
How
I'm
big
gonna
is
say
the building
I'm gonna say it's absolutely free. It just sounds like there's guys with non-alcoholic cider at the Lithuanian place.
Yeah,
he's in.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, Adam might be in on that.
Oh no! Oh no!
$45 and up.
Why is everything $45?
Whoa!
They must have think that's the price point. I'll tell you this: to alienate Adam, but get people a little less people. What am I saying here? So that's got to be alcoholic cider, right? Because there's no way anyone's going to. Where is it at?
That is at the Lithuanian Citizens Association in. That's Southeast.
Yeah, I'm gonna think that's a hard place to get people to come to. It's not like something that stands out. I can't imagine that's like a cathedral-like building in Southie.
Finally, honor the sacrifices of those who served. Veterans Day, Monday, of course, the 11th. Happy birthday, Marcy. Celebrating the Veterans Parade tomorrow. The route kicks off at the Boston Public Library, located on Boylston Street.
Oh, boy.
Come on, parade.
He's itching.
Parade.
I mean, look, yes. I mean, obviously, but I gotta say, I every year attend the nice one they have in Woburn because the Boys and Girls Club march in the parade, and we like to support the kids at the Boys and Girls Club of Woburn. Fantastic organization.
There you go.
Yeah.
Thank you to Boston.com.
There's one in Newton, you know.
Boys and Girls Club?
Yeah.
Oh, they're all over the place.
It's on the north side. You know.
No, I don't know about that.
Yes, you do.
I don't know enough about. We talked about this yesterday. I'm very ignorant to Newton.
So they got mad at me yesterday because they said that
At
they're
the Boys
putting
and Girls Club?
Yeah, because I was loitering around. No, the two of these guys got mad at me, Jonathan. I don't know if you remember this, but they got mad at me for they go, Newton Corner's getting a traffic circle. And I said, where's Newton Corner? And they go, oh, Jesus, legit exasperated.
Yes.
Like, you live in Newton. I'm
That's
like,
right.
dude, there's 120,000 people live in Newton.
That's right.
It's a huge
This was
city.
a conversation that happened after the show yesterday.
Like,
yes.
I don't know I live in Newton Center. Like, I know where Auburndale
But you've
Field
lived
is.
in Newton for a long time. You don't know the 3 or 4 different main parts of your own city?
There's Thompsonville, Newtonville, Auburndale, Nonantum. There might be 10.
Woburn.
There might be 10 parts of Newton.
Lots of neighborhoods.
And there's nothing different about any of them. So, except for how much houses cost, maybe.
The Woburn people would take issue with that statement.
But Wobbett's no nicer than Newton Center. I don't know.
Oh, now you
the
stepped
property's
in.
more expensive. And
Here
you
we
do have
go.
the country club situation, but you're also by the hospital, which has a mean detox in it. But
Not
I'll
a
tell
nice
you,
detox.
a mean one. Well, listen, it's you go there for 3 days.
Even the nice ones aren't that nice.
No, it's not that great. They do serve Shasta, as the emailer said. He was just at the hospital, and they serve Shasta. And if you want Shasta ginger ale, there's only one place to get it: rehab centers and hospitals around the world. But they won't give it to you in the rehab, only in the detox portion.
Oh,
there's
well,
no
that's-
soda in the rehab.
okay.
Too much sparkling. Not good for anyone. You trigger anyone's emotions. All right, that'll do it for us. We'll be here on Veterans Day on the account of our unpatriotic places. But we'll be here to follow up after the game on Sunday. Enjoy the Celtics and Bruins this weekend on this station. And the Celtics on Sunday. Zolak